Cold Star Ice Studios, it's Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, KUBE, Riverside.
You and me, we're gonna have a fight today, after school, 3 o'clock in the parking lot. You try and run, I'm gonna track you down. You go to a teacher, it's only gonna get worse.
Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. Your leader in sports in the Inland Empire.
The Riverside.
Now, here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Oh, man, I love Tuesdays. We have a great Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, coming your way every single day of your life, actually, 3 to 6 p.m. right here on the flagship on Fox Sports IE. I'm Pep Fernandez, half of the Inland Sports Show. The other half, the big half, is Jeff Gorham, and he is in the cradle of life where the American Olympic spirit was birthed, like a chicklet coming out of an egg. You know, it hatched, and the Olympic spirit just blossomed from there. He's in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, or he was. He's trying to get back. Jeff, where are you?
Right now, I'm sitting at the Denver airport looking out a window and just wishing the last 8 hours of my life had never happened.
We miss you.
Oh, gosh, I'm going to kiss when I fly into Orange County today, I'm going to kiss the ground, the tarmac, when I land.
You miss Southern California. You miss the IE, don't you? Just say it.
Oh, my gosh, yes, I miss it more than anything in the world.
Well, Jeff,
I miss it more than a McDonald's cheeseburger.
Oh, what have you been eating out there in Steamboat Springs, Colorado? Again, the cradle of life. I mean, life began for the American Olympians right there in that town. In fact, Jeff, I looked it up. So 31 Olympians are from the state of Colorado. That leads the American contingent at the 2018 Winter Olympics. 6 of those 31 from Colorado are from Steamboat Springs.
Well, like I said, Steamboat Springs has more Olympic athletes, Winter Olympic athletes, than any other city in American history. It was really cool. I was enjoying myself. And then last night, like 5.5 feet of snow descended upon where I was staying at my friend's house. It was wonderful. I had a great time staying at my friends, and I snowboarded. You know, I took in the sights. But I'm a Southern California guy, and when you see that much snow come down, and then they say, well, the roads might be closed. And I had a two-wheel a minivan that was just two-wheel drive. I was like, oh, I'm stuck here for a month.
Siberia.
I'm telling you, man. I had the 1-year-old, I had my 5-year-old, and I had Smedberg, and they're driving me bonkers. And I'm in a minivan. I ended up driving through the snow, sliding all over the place. It was outrageous.
In honor of the G-Man, Big Jeezy, the mayor, Greg Holla over here playing what's it called?
Daniel Browder, Bad Day.
Yeah, you've had a bad day. You know that song?
Oh.
You've had a bad day. I can't sing it. I don't know it. You can't hear it, but it's very popular, and it's for you. We're sending this one out to you.
Hey, can I just say this? There was one point in the day today where I almost cried for the first time in 6 or 7 years.
Why'd you almost cry?
Because I thought I was going to kill my family.
Were they driving you nuts?
Yeah, they were driving me nuts, but I'm driving down this grade, and it was like I thought I was going to snow ski all the way down in my minivan down this. I thought I was going to die. I was not happy at all. I literally started. A tear came down my face.
Unbelievable, Jeff. Those Gorham boys. Well, I hope you're able to snowmobile around Steamboat Springs and dig up some great stories that reflect the Olympic spirit for the red, white, and blue. Again, no city has more Olympians than Steamboat Springs, and that's where Jeff went. We sent him there, so we can't wait to hear all your great stories and Olympic coverage from Steamboat Springs.
I got some stories. I got some stories, my friend.
Well, Jeff, we can tell everyone that Chloe Kim, a Southern California gal, just 17 years old, took gold in the halfpipe. And our boy, the Flying Tomato, Shaun White, going tonight also in the halfpipe, trying to bring the gold back to the Stars and Stripes. We're hoping that he can get that done. And then here's another wacky story. So Team USA for the women's hockey team, they had the Statue of Liberty for the goalies' helmets, and they weren't going to let them wear them because they thought it was like a political slant, like they were trying to push across a point. But, dude, It's the Statue of Liberty. It's like a bald eagle. It's America.
Yeah, it was given to us, I think, by France, wasn't it?
Yes.
Come on, it's a gift from France. It was that's nothing more than Olympic fever right there.
I know.
Olympic gratitude.
Yeah, and the Olympic officials are saying, "Oh, that's a political message there." No, man, it's Lady Liberty. That's what America's about. Stars and stripes, man.
I agree, and I saw that, and I was like, "Come on, man, this is women's hockey. Let's fight it out."
I know. The first thing I thought was, what world are we living in? That's the Statue of Liberty. It's like the bald eagle. It's a symbol of our country. What message is that other than the USA rocks? We're number one. Other than that, what else does it say?
It was ridiculous. What are they supposed to put Sesame Street on there? What else? Come on. It's America, as they would say. I'm in the hotbed of America right now, and I'm pretty offended by it.
You are. There's no other Olympic city like Steamboat Springs. And again, we tweeted out video of you snowmobiling around looking for all those great Olympic stories. So, but we're glad to see you soon. We'll see you tomorrow, actually, as you're on your way back.
I'm telling you right now, Pep, when I see you tomorrow, I'm going to give you the biggest hug, and I'm going to kiss you on your forehead, and I'm going to tell you how much I love and miss you.
Well, Jeff, before you do that, let's cover a couple of more stories here that we're following on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Yes, we will be keeping close tabs on the Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. The other big news coming from Lithuania, your boy, Larry Ball. He says he wants all three of his sons on the same NBA team. Does not matter if it's the Lakers. He'll send them anywhere. My question to you, Jeff, is doesn't Lonzo have a say in it? What if he wants to be on the Lakers? What if that was his dream team? What if he wants to play there? His dad's already ripping him out of the purple and gold, and he's going to ship him somewhere else because he wants all three of the balls together.
I tell you what, tell Lonzo or Larry Ball to shut the hell up, because I'm in no mood today, and he needs to seriously, his middle son, what's his middle son's name, Melo?
Jello, man. Melo's the little ball. Jello's the middle ball. Everyone forgets about
Jello.
The middle ball, Jello.
Okay, Jello could not play on my JV team when I was coaching high school basketball. That's how low I think of him. And I think the little ball, the small ball.
Small ball, yeah.
He can maybe play eventually, but come on. If he ruins this Laker gig, he'll be playing in Denver, for gosh sakes, or Oblivion. He'll be playing in Lithuania with his two other little ding-dong brothers and hanging out with his dad.
Well, we're going to talk about this more later in the show. We also have an interview that we dug up from Lithuania of Larry Ball talking about this, because, I mean, it's straight from the horse's mouth. It's not like, oh, we heard from so-and-so that he said this. Or, it's not hearsay. I mean, LeVar Ball said this, so we're going to play some of that interview a little bit later in the show. We're also going to hear from Angels broadcaster and Big West Conference play-by-play man, also the voice of UC Irvine basketball, Trent Rush, as we're going to talk Angels spring training, as well as the big game tomorrow night, UC Riverside taking on Cal State Northridge. At 4 o'clock, we've got the great Clint Parks, Jeff. He's a friend of yours, and he's the private coach for the Lakers Kyle Kuzma. That's going to be fun. That's at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, he's not only working out with Kuzma, he's working out with a lot of NBA guys. I'm sure he's going to tell you this. I was hoping to be in studio to interview him and talk to him, but he's got a lot of guys that are under his umbrella now that he's kind of mentoring, just like he did Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma came out of Utah, out of nowhere, and he developed this guy's jump shot. Now he's a legitimate NBA superstar.
So we're going to talk to Clint Parks, also a King High School guy. Talked to him, actually texted with him a little bit today. He is a King High School guy, very well connected, and works out with a lot of big-time basketball players, including Kyle Kuzma. He's coming up at 4 o'clock. We've also got the skipper from UC Riverside, Troy Percival. He's going to talk about their season openers. They play a doubleheader coming up on Friday at Diablo Stadium down in Tempe, Arizona. And then right around the corner at 3:30, it's the legendary Mike Bartee, JW North basketball coach. He's going to talk about their opening round game against Santa Monica and the season as a whole, as Third and Chicago is back, your Inland Valley League champions. And one more reminder, number 20, Cal Baptist. Yes, the Lancers have They have risen in the college basketball Division II rankings once again. The Lancers now at number 20 in the country. They will take on Hawaii Hilo tonight. It's all brought to you by our good friends That's Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by great customer service and low prices. Make sure you get your car in there today. You don't want to break down on the 91. In fact, intern Cullen just told me it's a mess out there. There was an accident on the 91. There's cars backed up all over the place. Get your car into Spoiled. You don't want to. I know you don't miss that, Jeff. I know you don't like the snow out there in Colorado, but you don't miss that traffic, right?
Hey, you just tell Cullen to be quiet. He doesn't know what anything was what I went through today. I don't care what.
He doesn't know what stress is.
No idea.
Kin Sporting Goods. Hold on. Kin Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, bringing you all of your sporting gear needs. And they've got those Letterman's jackets as well. They will bling them all out at Kin's Sporting Goods in Norco. KinSportingGoods.com is the website. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. Make sure you check out the strength and speed class. Who doesn't want to be stronger and faster? I do. I'm going to go see Coach Ray Bass. BoostTrainingSystems.com is the website. Make sure you follow them on Twitter and Instagram as well. And Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road, where you can buy, you can trade, and you can finance. Make that car shopping experience very easy, not very stressful, not like Jeff Gorham's life right now. CatalanoCars.com is the website. Catalano Motors off Temescal Canyon Road is the place to be. Jeff, I'm concerned. You doing okay? Are you doing all right?
Yeah, now I am. Can I tell you why? You just mentioned that Mike Bartee is going to be on the show.
Yes.
One of my heroes, my lifelong heroes. Tell him I wish I could have been there, but I was stuck. Trent Rush, he's okay. He's all right. We mess with him all the time. Clint Parks, another great. But you have Troy Percival on. That's my one guy. I'm telling you. Tell him I want to still try to hit off of him, and tell him good luck to the Highlanders this year. You
know what he's going to say? Because you want to bat against him. You want to hit off Troy Percival. He's going to be like, "Oh, Jeff's not there. He's totally dodging me."
Yeah, I'm not dodging. I'm ready. Tell him I'll show up next week. We'll film it.
Hey, Jeff. Before we let you go in this segment, one more thing. So I was kind of digging through the analytics. That's the stats for YouTube, right?
Yes.
And I was going through there. You'll be happy to know in the last 28 days on the Inland Sports Channel, just online, we had people watched more than 31,000 minutes of Inland Sports Show content. Can you believe that?
Dude, what is wrong with those people? What are they doing listening to that kind of stuff? A lot of 31,000.
Yeah, they're hanging out on our channel, which is a great thing. But here's what I found interesting. So obviously, folks in the United States, specifically the Inland Empire, they're watching. But what country in the world do you think checks in at number 2 in the most minutes viewed on the Inland Sports Channel?
Lithuania.
You know what? Is Lithuania on the list?
You have a list for this?
I'm looking at it right now. No, it's not Lithuania.
Where is it?
It is the Philippines.
Are you kidding me?
People in the Philippines, hey, listen to this. People in the Philippines, just in the last 28 days, that's a month, they have watched 352 minutes of Inland Sports shows.
Good Lord, we're popular in the Philippines.
Dude,
I'm moving.
We're blowing up in the Philippines. And then our boy hit us, Jason Calley. He says, man, if you're a business doing business in the Philippines and in the U.S., this would be perfect for you. And I wrote him back on Twitter and said, yeah, seriously, I'm still scratching my head about this one. And he says, you guys must talk a lot about Manny Pacquiao. And I was like, nope, not really. I don't know what's going on.
I know, but I'm happy. I'm popular in the Philippines. That's, I guess, where the Gorham road trip will go next.
If you get off a plane in the Philippines, you're going to step off the plane, and they're going to say, it's the G-Man. He's like a celebrity over here. He is big time.
They're going to treat you like Elvis.
Oh, yeah, I'm big time. Hey, I got to go, Pep. They're calling me on the plane.
They are?
Yes, I got to go.
Jeff, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to hug and kiss you. You be ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, buddy. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye. That is the great Jeff Gorham leaving Denver right now. Nearly snowed in, Greg. He was that close. He was that close to being snowed in. Jeff Gorham's on his way back. He'll be back in studio. Actually, not even in studio tomorrow because we're going to be doing the show live from Cal State Northridge as UC Riverside's taking on the Matadores tomorrow night. So we'll be doing the show live from the Matadome tomorrow. Coming up here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, we'll talk a little NBA. We're going to hear from Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr. And the Warriors did something last night I haven't seen maybe since like junior high basketball. Threw us all a curveball. I want to see what you guys think. We'll talk Steve Kerr. We'll talk about G State. When we come back, it's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
My apologies.
Inland Empire.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Are supposed to be dismantled for usable parts or crushed for scrap and a flood title issued to that damaged car. But some unscrupulous dealers will buy a flooded vehicle, clean it up, and get it retitled with no indication it was flooded. Or uninsured cars will be cleaned up by the owner and sold online, also with no warning to the buyer. If the price seems too good to be true, there's a good chance you're buying a lemon. Make sure to check for flood damage and have a qualified mechanic inspect it before you write a check. The free VIN check service from the National Insurance Crime Bureau is a good place to start to see if a car has been in a flood. Go to www.nicb.org to check it out. And if you suspect fraud, give us a call at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hey, what's up, ladies? Oh, you're from around these parts, eh? Yeah, I'm from Saskatchewan. What's up in Canada, eh?
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Hey, we're back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. We got Mike Bartee, legendary coach at JW North, coming up in just a couple of minutes. But real quick, did you guys see what happened last night between the Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns? So the Warriors blew out Phoenix. Not a big deal. 129-83. Huge win for G-State. But head coach Steve Kerr, to keep his players interested in the game, I guess interested on the season as well, because they just keep winning and winning and winning. I guess you can get complacent. You get bored. He let his players coach during the timeouts during the game. Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, they all took turns. They grabbed, the dry erase board and they got in the huddle. They drew up the plays. They coached up the team in the game. It wasn't Steve Kerr. It was his guys. Let's hear from G-State head coach Steve Kerr talking about why he did this.
That during the timeouts you were having your players coach. Was it something you prepared, you wanted them to do, you told them was going to happen, or was that spur of the moment decision to turn it over to your guys?
I told them the other night after the last game that we were going to do it. It's their team. I think that's one of the first things you have to consider as a coach. It's not your team. It's not Bob Meyer's team. It's not Joe Lincoln's team. Although I'm not going to tell Joe that. It's a player's team. It's their team, and they have to take ownership of it. And as coaches, our job is to nudge them in the right direction, guide them. But we don't control them. They determine their own fate. And I don't feel like we focused well at all the last month. And it just seemed like the right thing to do. And I thought they communicated really well together, and they drew up some nice plays, and it was a good night for the guys.
He gave Omri the start tonight instead of Draymond.
Well, that's very interesting. So Steve Kerr keeping his players vested into the team. Again, you can get bored over a long season, especially if you're just winning game after game after game. I guess G-State's players, they're able to stay focused and maybe re-energize themselves when they actually have some ownership on the play calling, which is kind of crazy. I've only seen that like at the junior high level, but now it's happening in the NBA. But when you're G-State and you're the best team in the NBA, I guess you can call the shots. If it works out, then Steve Kerr's going to look like a genius, right? Speaking of geniuses, when we come back, we're going to have Mike Bartee, the legendary head basketball coach at JW North, as Third in Chicago is getting ready for the CIF Southern Section playoffs. We'll talk to Coach Bartee when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Hi.
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car. Whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
How you guys doing today? Coach Ray here from Boost Training. We're here today at the Boost Performance Center with the one and only Pep Fernandez. Today's Boost Training tip is all about strength. And of course, it's very specific to speed. We're talking about the single leg supported low squat. Come check it out. So when it comes to athletic performance, and more specifically speed, it's all about the ability to generate force. It's all about being nice and strong. Now, running is a single leg motion. So it makes sense that you have to have a great foundation of strength. You gotta have single leg strength. So this exercise really works on that single leg strength here with a deep bend in the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So what Mike is gonna do is gonna have an open hand grip, all right? He's gonna get nice and tight to the rack. He's gonna be doing this, he's gonna have his right foot on the ground. He's gonna flex his left knee, all right? He's gonna lower himself nice and easy. He's gonna tap that left knee on the ground and then come up. Now go ahead and do a couple reps here, Micah. All right, so what we want here is we really want to emphasize pushing that left foot in the ground, that right foot in the ground and not pulling himself up, which is why we have the open hand grip. And as I mentioned before, really getting that deep bend in the ankles, the knees, and the hips, just as if we were sprinting. So if you're not doing this exercise, you really want to add it to your repertoire because it's a great drill for building speed and generating force. We do it right here at Boost.
Focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. Just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. Come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
How you guys doing today? Coach Ray here from Boost Training. We're here today at the Boost Performance Center with the one and only Pep Fernandez. Today's Boost Training tip is all about strength. And of course, it's very specific to speed. We're talking about the single leg supported low squat. Come check it out. So when it comes to athletic performance, and more specifically speed, it's all about the ability to generate force, all about being nice and strong. Now, running is a single leg motion. So it makes sense that you have to have a great foundation of strength. You gotta have single leg strength. So this exercise really works on that single leg strength here with a deep bend in the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So what Mike is gonna do is gonna have an open hand grip, all right? He's gonna get nice and tight to the rack. He's gonna be doing this, he's gonna have his right foot on the ground. He's gonna flex his left knee, all right? He's gonna lower himself nice and easy. He's gonna tap that left knee on the ground and then come up. Now go ahead and do a couple reps here, Micah. All right, so what we want here is we really want to emphasize pushing that left foot in the ground, that right foot in the ground and not pulling himself up, which is why we have the open hand grip. And as I mentioned before, really getting that deep bend in the ankles, the knees, and the hips, just as if we were sprinting. So if you're not doing this exercise, you really want to add it to your repertoire because it's a great drill for building speed and generating force. We do it right here at Boost.
Back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back, everybody, to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, every single day from 3 to 6 p.m. Nothing but the good stuff here in the Inland Empire. Now, this is a real treat. I know Jeff's really bummed to miss the legendary coach Mike Bartee here on the show. Jeff's stuck in Colorado right now trying to get out of the snow and get back to the Inland Empire. So, Coach, I apologize for Jeff. He's stuck in Colorado. He really wanted to talk to you as well, but he's trying to get back home right now.
Okay, well, we hope he takes care of himself and doesn't get in too much trouble there.
No, he's trying to, but he said his wife and kids are driving him nuts right now. He just wants to get home is what he said.
Let myself alone.
We got the legendary JW North head basketball coach Mike Bartee here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Of course, the CIF Southern Section playoffs tip off this week. And in Division I, we have the Inland Valley League champions, the Huskies, taking on Santa Monica. And, Coach, you've played Santa Monica in the past, haven't you? I feel like you guys have met each other in the playoffs before.
Well, last year, our last game was we went to their place and we got beat there. Our season ended in Santa Monica, so we're pretty familiar with them, and I'm sure they're familiar with us.
Yeah, there it is. So, I mean, when you saw the draw, when you saw Santa Monica in the brackets, did you think, oh, this is an opportunity to kind of, flip the script, maybe exact a little bit of revenge on the way your season ended last year?
You know, we don't really look at it that way. I happen to be a personal friend of their coach. He's a good guy, and, we want to, just go out and do the best that we can do and hope that it, comes out in our favor. But, no, you can get hung up on that revenge factor and sometimes miss the boat. So we just want to go out and make sure we play the best game we can play and prepare as best we can for that game.
Coach Bartee, let me ask you about the Inland Valley League title this season because – I mean, the Inland Valley League has quickly become one of the best high school basketball leagues in our area. Of course, you guys and the great rivalry with Riverside Poly, the emergence of Rancho Verde, Valley View's had some good teams. How much pride do you take in winning the league championship this season, considering how tough the Inland Valley League has become?
I don't think we came in as the favorite. So, the kids had a goal, and their goal was to, do what it took to compete and hopefully be successful, and they were able to do that. And, it started with the kids and the coaches, and I have a pretty good staff, very good staff, in fact, and they did the work, and we were able to be successful.
Throughout the season, Coach Bartee, how would you describe the progression of this team? Like you said, maybe going into the season, you were not on a lot of other teams' radars in terms of, winning championships or the league title. Do you feel like as the season has gone on, your team has gotten better and people are like, okay, well, this is what we're expecting. This is the typical JW North team in terms of, the Huskies are always competing for league titles. They're always competing for league championships. You've done so many great things there at North High School. Do you feel like the team has progressed and gotten better as the season has gone along?
They've been pretty successful. We've been pretty consistent. We had to change up what we do because we didn't have much size, so we went to a kind of run and shoot type of game, and it just fit them perfectly. And I never doubted their heart and their ability to play basketball because we're seniors. We have a whole bunch of seniors, and usually the seniors you get stability. I just was worried a little bit about size.
Yeah, going back to some of your previous teams. I'm thinking of, like the Christian Gray teams. I mean, you always had a couple guys in the front court who were 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and like you said, this year, maybe not the height is there, but this is a team that likes to play fast and up-tempo and score a lot of points. Is that fun for you as a head coach, maybe having to adjust and change the way maybe you coach a little bit based on the players that you have?
Yeah, we have, and it was perfect timing because we threw it out there, and we just have to trust our kids' judgment, and it's been very, very good. And I think I attribute that to the quality of some of the kids, along with the fact that we're heavy with seniors.
We're talking with Mike Bartee, JW North head basketball coach here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, do a little name dropping on some of the guys that have led the way for you this season. Like you mentioned, it's senior heavy. You got some guys that have some experience on this Huskies team and have played a large part in helping you win the league title and also get into the Division I playoffs. Who are those guys?
I think when it comes to Mason Westlake, LaShawn Jackson, Deuce Walker, Jay Williams, and Edwin Collins. It's been fantastic, and they play well together. And the truth of the matter is, you always get in trouble when you start name dropping because the second five are just as important as the first five. So they've just been a really tight knit group, and everyone's contributed, and that's made us successful.
Hey, Coach, how would you describe a typical practice at JW North? Mentioning in those second five, are they pushing the starters in practice? Is that maybe a reason why they've been able to elevate their play because of the competition in practice and helping their teammates get better?
Our practices have been very competitive because at the beginning of the season, we were playing 10 to 12 guys, and when you got in, depending on how well you practiced, as you get deeper into the playoffs and the competition starts to get better, you kind of shorten that a little bit, and that even turns up the intensity in practice. This is probably one of the most competitive practice years I've ever experienced in my whole career, and it is kind of fun to watch, and the kids really get after it in practice.
So you open up the CIF Southern Section playoffs again against Santa Monica. Coach, as you go into the playoffs, what's kind of the message to your players? Is it one that, hey, guys, we've been doing some really good things all season long. Let's not change now? I mean, you don't want to put too much pressure on them. Like, what's your approach when you get to the playoffs? And is it any different than coaching, let's say, a non-league game or an Inland Valley League contest?
Well, I think it's a little different because, when you play in the Inland Valley, you know that game, or if you come up a little short, you're not done. So we definitely realize that, it's win or go home. That being said, I think that we're just stressing, it's a long season, we're stressing staying committed, putting everything else aside, as family and school, obviously, and realizing that you only have, some of the seniors only have whatever's left in their season, so we want to leave it all on the floor.
We're talking with Mike Bartee, the head basketball coach at JW North. And, Coach, few schools in the Inland Empire have the tradition like JW North. What's it like having guys who used to play for you? Maybe they've got sons coming through the program now, but a lot of these guys who are from JW North still have that Husky pride. They still come back. They support the school. They support the team. They send their sons through the program to play for you as well. I mean, there's not a lot of other schools that have that similar situation. What's that like?
I think it's very helpful, and it makes it easier on a coach because they have so much to draw from, and I think that the kids that are here now want to do their part because they look up on the wall and they see their fathers and uncles' names on banners, and they strive to do what it takes to get themselves up there.
Now, you've had obviously some CIF championship teams in the past at JW North. How is this year's squad? And we've touched on some things already, but how is this year's squad maybe similar or different from those championship teams that you've had in the past?
We're as large in heart as all of those. Our stature is just not as large. This is probably the smallest team I've ever had. Win 20 games, and they've made it very exciting. And I can't say enough about their ability to leave it all on the floor and just get after it.
And you guys also take a lot of pride in that home court advantage. It's a nice, cozy little gym, and you guys like to get it packed and you like to get it loud. Talk about the home court advantage that you enjoy at JW North, and really encouraging again the community, former players, the alum, the students to come out and really make it a fun environment for high school basketball, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely community oriented. But as far as the kids know, we play 5 games there a year. So most of their success has been on the road, and I think that helps us. But they are aware that when they get a chance to play at home, that they're doing it for their community, for a lot of the people that they know, a lot of people that they're related to. So we go from there. We would love to have more games there, but unfortunately, each year so far, lately, I would say, we've only been able to play 5 games there, including the playoffs.
Now, Coach, I've covered a lot of high school basketball from the very top of California down to the bottom. And in the southern section, it's the first place I've seen where they actually do coin flips to predict the next round. But it sounds like even if you guys have to go on the road, or let's say 2 home teams win and they do a coin flip to see who's going to go on the road, obviously you'd want to play at home. But it sounds like this is a team that's kind of built to go on the road because you're used to it. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I know. I think our guys kind of just look at it as they need to do whatever it takes. If this is a team that if you said they were going to have to play in the parking lot, they would adapt to that and just go do it.
We're talking with Mike Bartee, the head basketball coach at JW North here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Coach, this has been a special season, obviously, for JW North, another league championship as you guys are gearing up for a Division I playoff run. When you look at the entire landscape of the playoff teams in Division I, there's a bunch from the IE, Roosevelt, Centennials in there. There's some really good teams in Division I from the IE. But when you look at the landscape, do you try not to get caught up on who you might see in the next round or who might appear in the quarterfinals? Is it just Santa Monica and that's all you're focused on right now?
Absolutely, because if you look past Santa Monica, you probably won't see anyone else because you'll probably be at home putting your uniforms on mothballs. So we don't go there. We take them one at a time and do the best that we can, and we don't want to look too far ahead.
Do you break down a lot of tape on the other team? I mean, in this case, it would be Santa Monica, or is it more about what you guys are doing right now and making sure that you guys are playing the basketball that you want?
A little bit of both. In this era where all you have to do is dial up something on the computer and you can see games, that really helps, and with huddle and things of that sort. So we kind of mix it. But, the bottom line is we have to do what we need to do and then adjust on the fly.
All right, that is the legendary Mike Bartee here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Coach, we really appreciate the time. Best of luck against Santa Monica, and hopefully we'll see you guys string together a couple of wins here and make a run at the championship.
Thank you very much for having me, and I enjoyed it. Have a good day.
All right, thank you, Coach Bartee. We appreciate it as well. The legendary Mike Bartee here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Yeah, when you look at Division I for the CIF Southern Section basketball playoffs, it's a real who's who. In fact, I'm going to punch up, if you're watching this on the channel right now, I'm going to punch up all the teams here in the Inland Empire, in our Inland Sports coverage area. We got North against Santa Monica. We've got Centennial against Los Alamitos, and I know we touched on these some of these yesterday. Temecula Valley against Damien, Roosevelt against Peninsula, and Rancho Verde against La Mirada. These are all championship pedigree teams. I know the open division, don't get me wrong, the open division for the CIF Southern Section playoffs is really good. And we got one IE school in there, and that's Rancho Christian. And hopefully we'll see Rancho Christian from Temecula in those open division semifinals at Cal Baptist on the 24th. But when you look at Division I, I mean, this is really, really juicy. North has won a championship. Centennial's won a championship. Temecula Valley, Roosevelt, they were state champions last year. The Rancho Verde, they were the 1A champion last year. So there's a lot of great teams in Division I, and it's going to be a battle from the very first round. Now that we've gone to this competitive equity with the CIF Southern Section, they take the past 2 seasons. So 2 seasons, they look at that as the sample size, and they determine what division you're going to be in. So now that we've gone through competitive equity to set the playoffs, every game, even those first-round games, especially in Division I, they're all going to be battles, like even those first-round games. So JW North versus Santa Monica, that's a first-round game. That feels more like a semifinal. You know what? Maybe even a championship game. But that's a first-round game. I remember Matt Logan, as we kind of bring this to football, Matt Logan at Centennial High School said that now with this competitive equity, it's almost like having to win 4 CIF championship games in a row to win the title. Like, that's how tough it is now with this competitive equity that the CIF Southern Section is using. So, again, in Division I right now, it's North against Santa Monica, and we'll tip off on Wednesday night. North against Santa Monica, Centennial against Los Alamitos, Temecula Valley against Damien, Roosevelt Peninsula, and the Rancho Verde taking on La Mirada. So the Inland Valley League has 2 schools in Division I. That's Rancho Verde and North. The land of the Big 8, they've got 2 with Centennial and Roosevelt, and the Southwestern League with 1 with Temecula Valley. And yes, Centennial and Roosevelt, they are on opposite sides of the bracket. So if the Huskies and the Mustangs were to meet once again, it would be in the CIF Southern Section Division I championship game. It could happen. We still have a lot of basketball to be played, but it could happen. They're both really good. They've played a lot of tight games. Even last year, going back to last season, it was the Mustangs going a perfect 5-0 against Centennial, which is unheard of, as Roosevelt went on to the state championship game. In fact, they beat Centennial a 5th and final time last year in that Southern California championship game. So you could say it was the state semifinals. Roosevelt beat Centennial a 5th and final time. They advanced to the state game, and they beat James Logan from Union City for that Division I state championship. But they could meet again if, and again, it's a big if because there's a lot of good teams in Division I, but they could meet again in that championship game at the very end. And a couple of those other games that we touched on: Cajon against El Toro in 2A, King at Calabasas, Rev against Brentwood, Tahquitz and Alyssa Nagel. And in Division 3A, we got the number 1 team, Notre Dame. In 4A, also the number 1 team with Hillcrest. Hillcrest versus Heritage. That's going to be a good one tomorrow night. In fact, we're going to be covering that game, shooting video and getting highlights of Hillcrest versus Heritage for AA. That is Wednesday night, opening round game. So an all Inland Empire battle there between the Trojans and the Patriots. So stay tuned for video highlights from that one. All right, right around the corner, we're going to talk to Clint Parks. He is a private basketball coach from King High School. And Clint works with a bunch of NBA players, including Kyle Kuzma of the Lakers and also Ben McLemore of the Memphis Grizzlies, formerly the Sacramento Kings, former Kansas Jayhawk there. So we're going to talk to Clint about some of his clients, including Kuzma, because I think Kuzma should be getting a lot more starts for the Lakers. I need to see Kuzma with some more minutes. He's the best rookie on the team. Yes, and I'm talking about Lonzo Ball, too. Kyle Kuzma, I think people would agree with me. He's the best rookie on the Lakers right now. He needs to be in that starting 5 for head coach Luke Walton, although Coach Walton might like him coming off the bench, but he scores a lot of points. So we're going to hear from Clint Parks in just a couple minutes. Coming up about 4:45, the head coach for UC Riverside Baseball, and Angels great, Troy Percival, as the Highlanders will open up the season coming up on Friday down there at Diablo Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, the spring home of the Los Angeles Angels. So we'll talk to Coach Percival about his UC Riverside baseball team. We'll also sneak in a couple of Halo questions for him. And speaking of the Halos, coming up at 5:30, Angels reporter from the Angels Radio Network, and also the voice of UC Irvine and Big West Conference basketball on ESPN, Trent Rush, will join us at 5:30. He'll be calling the game between UCR and Northridge along with myself and Jeff Gorham on Wednesday night, of course, at GoHighlanders.com. So we'll see. We'll talk to Trent and see what he thinks about that matchup between the Highlanders and the Matadors, and also Angels spring training, because I think the Angels are loaded. Now, will they beat Houston and claim the American League West? I don't know. We're going to ask Trent that, but they are loaded. I think of any team in the offseason, the LA Angels made more improvements to get better, and why not? Because when you have the defending World Series champions in your division, you got to do something. You got to bulk up. They went out there. They got a lot of big names. They're going to have pretty close to an all-new infield. Of course, it's showtime. Shohei Ohtani coming over from Japan. We'll see. We'll hear from Trent and see how they're going to use Shohei, because remember, he's a pitcher, and also he can rake. He can swing the bat as well. He's going to play some designated hitter, it sounds like, for the Angels as well when he's not pitching. So a lot to talk about with Trent Rush as well. And if you needed anything more, so we dug up an interview from LeVar Ball. I mean, straight from Lithuania. We had to get a big shovel out, and we were digging all around, and we found this interview with LeVar Ball talking about his choice to have his sons, all three sons, including the middle ball, Jello Ball, Mellow Ball, who are in Lithuania. He wants all three on the same NBA team, and he has gone as far to say if the Lakers won't bring Melo and Jello into the fold, into the purple and gold, he's gonna take Lonzo out. He's gonna bounce. He's gonna say, "Kick rocks, Lakers. I'm taking my boys, and we're gonna go to an NBA team that wants all three balls." That's what he wants. So a little bit later in the show, we will hear from LeVar Ball talking about all three Ball brothers playing on the same NBA team, and he says it doesn't matter if it's the Lakers. I don't care if it's the Lakers. They will all play in the same place. And if Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka and Luke Walton and Jeannie Buss, if they're not on board, it's okay. We're going to go find another NBA team, because all three Ball brothers will be in the same place at the same time, and it's all part of LeVar Ball's master plan. I think he's crazy, but we're going to hear from him anyways. That's a little bit later in the show. We're proudly brought to you by our friends at Spoiled, Quick Quality Oil Change, Kin Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass, and Catalano Motors in Corona off Temescal Canyon Road. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM, we will talk with Clint Parks, the private shooting coach for the Lakers Kyle Kuzma. We need more Kuzma. Less Lonzo Ball, more Kyle Kuzma on the Lakers. Clint Parks is next. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Yo.
Hello, Shorty. What are you doing?
Nothing. Sitting here watching the game.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and help them reach their athletic potential, help them, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, in terms of speed, power, strength, agility.
I thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart, is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you, and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Riverside.
Doesn't it look like I am ready? I am always ready. I have been ready since first call. I am ready. Roll.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Jeff Gorham is somewhere between here, I'm talking about Riverside, and Steamboat Springs, Colorado, where he was socked in the snow, but he's on his way back. He's battling. He's with his wife and his kids. It's a struggle to get back to the 951, but he's doing it. We'll see him tomorrow here on the Inland Sports Show. But right now, we're going to turn to our attention, talk a little basketball. with Clint Parks. Clint, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, Pep. Appreciate it.
Man, we are fired up to talk about you. You're a King High School guy, so you're already an A+ in my book, man. So you went to King for a couple years, and then you said you ended up in Hawaii?
Yeah, I went to King for my first 2 years of high school, and then I ended up going to Kahuku High in Hawaii, where actually my mom's from, and I moved out there and finished high school out there, which is probably the best experience of my life. So you can imagine living in Hawaii isn't actually a bad thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, real bummer you had to transfer out to a school in Hawaii. But Clint, man, you're a big basketball guy. You train, you work with guys on the side, a lot of basketball players. Kuzma, Ben McLemore. I'm a big Sacramento Kings fan, so obviously I know who Ben McLemore is. Do a little name dropping right here. Who are some of the guys that you work with?
I worked with Kawhi Leonard when he was in high school and college. Tony Snell. I actually co-founded an AAU program, Team Elite, with Marvin Lee. So I had an opportunity to work with and coach a lot of good players in the area. I've also worked with Cole Huff, played at Creighton, playing in the G League right now. Bronson Koenig, who a lot of people are probably familiar with from Wisconsin. He's playing in the G League as well. Trayvon Blewett, Xavier Shooter, and then Jeremy Lieberman, who's also transferring from Wyoming. He'll be at Cal Baptist next year. I actually worked with him for almost a decade now, so pretty excited about him being over at Cal Baptist.
We're talking with Clint Parks. And Clint, I went on your Twitter a little bit, and I saw you went to some CVU games. What do you think of that new event center and the crowds they're pulling out there for Lancer basketball?
Oh, man. The event center, I mean, for me, just being born and raised basically in Riverside, right in this area, and being able to see something like that in Riverside, that building, which is something that we've never had, and then just the crowd and the environment and the coaching staff. I mean, that's what makes it, at the end of the day, the coaching staff is what makes it special and brings it all together. I mean, it's just a great, not only for Riverside, but for the Inland Empire as a whole. It feels like big-time college basketball when you're there. The last two games that I've went to, Azusa Pacific and on Saturday, Biola, they're both packed, and the students were into it. The city's into it. You see a lot of coaches from the area. Seen Jeff Stovall from Canyon Springs, John Seidel. You just see everyone coming through because everyone's excited about their move to Division I.
We're talking with Clint Parks. He also works with Kyle Kuzma. And, Coach, what do you think the success has been for him this year? Because I'll just say it, he's the best rookie on the Lakers this season. You work with him a lot. What did you see in him that we're all finding out now in his rookie season with the Lakers, why he's been so successful?
From the very beginning, this thirst to get better. I mean, he's always been a guy that wants to get better. He's coachable. He's not afraid of being coached, and he's a basketball junkie. He watches a lot of basketball. He loves to be in the gym working on his game, and that's just obviously he's blessed with great tools, being 6'9", great basketball body, athletic, but you got to have that work ethic, and he has that special work ethic that you need to get to the highest level.
Well, Clint, without giving away all your secrets, what would a normal workout be like with Kyle Kuzma? Like, do you get to see him in the off season, and what are some of the things that you guys would do when you get together?
We work out in the off season a lot, obviously, and then in season is we work out sometimes, just depending on his schedule and then when he wants to get some extra work in. But it's really not. I mean, I always tell people there's really no special recipe or that anybody can give you. I mean, just try to be. My biggest thing for him and all my guys is really being the most fundamentally sound player on the court every time you step out there. And I think that's something that he does, and it's attributed to his work ethic and his diligence and his focus when it comes to just hammering away at the basic fundamentals of the game.
Clint, you brought up a great point, just talking about the basic fundamentals of the game, whether maybe you're working with a high school kid or a guy like Kuzma who's in the NBA? Do you feel like it always kind of comes back to the same things? You're always working on the same things. It doesn't matter if you're a JV high school kid or if you're a starting five in the NBA. It kind of goes back to those same basics of basketball.
Yeah, because your foundation is everything. When your athleticism goes, then you see what who a player really is, like at the core of them. Like you got to have footwork, you got to have a jump shot, you got to be able to pass the ball, you got to be able to defend, and you got to have height. And I mean that's you can't. I always try to simplify everything. Like the game it's a simple game that I always say it's a simple game that's overtaught and undercoached. You know, like you just gotta keep it simple. You just gotta keep it simple. Be able to make the simple play. Obviously, you're dealing with more talented players. Then, I mean, you'll get into some different things. But at the core of the game, it's all simple. Be able to shoot, defend, pass, and just know when to do all of those things.
Hey, Coach Parks, going back to Kyle Kuzma of the Lakers, obviously he's having a real breakout party this season going into the year, and for good reason. Lonzo Ball received a lot of the attention coming out of the NBA draft and going into their rookie seasons. But on the court, Kyle Kuzma's been the one that's been able to perform and put up numbers on a consistent basis for the Lakers. Do you still feel like maybe the best is yet to come with Kyle Kuzma, like he's continuing to improve, continuing to get better, and really, you know, opening some people's eyes this season, his rookie year?
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's only going to get better and better just because, like, that goes back to his work ethic. That's what everything draws back to. He wants to work. He wants to get better. He's in there every day, before practice, after practice with Miles Simon, who's the player development coach, and the other coaches as well. So, I mean, it's just sticking to that. Like, you got to want to come in every day. Just having that mentality of being the first one there and the last to leave, like, you can never go wrong with that, and he has that. So I think Laker fans just he already talks about just the areas, the things that he's learning and what he can improve on in season and out of season. So that's, for me, that's exciting, and I know he's only going to continue to stay hungry and motivated.
We're talking with Clint Parks here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Clint, here's something that's been brought up on our show several times. I want to run it past you because obviously you're on the inner circle of, a lot of big-time basketball players, and you see and you watch and you coach up a lot of basketball players and see a lot of games. But right now we're kind of in this era, this world of basketball where coaches are looking for positionless players. And when I say that, I mean guys who can do everything. There's not a true center. There's not a true point guard. You need a guy that can handle the basketball, but he can also shoot it. He can also post up a little bit. When you're coaching guys now, do you see that as well? Do you coach them up a little bit differently because they need to know how to do a bunch of different things as opposed to being specialized? Like, okay, you're a point guard, you're a three, you're a center. There's no more labels. It feels like everyone just has to be a good basketball player overall. Does that make sense?
I think for me that's always been a big thing. No matter what position you are, you should be able to post. If you're a guard, you should be able to get in the post. You should be able to have the footwork of a big man, and your big man should be able to handle the ball, set screens, post up, the whole nine. I just think that, it just expands your IQ for the game when you know how to, when you understand the why you're doing things. And if a big man is seeing the game from a guard's perspective, then he also knows why his guards are doing certain things in certain situations, and vice versa for the guards and the bigs. Like, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, we're seeing, for example, let's say a guy like LeBron James. He's built like a power forward, but he's like a point forward. He'll bring the ball up, and he'll handle it. He'll lead the team in assists. It just feels like we're living in a different world. And I think Kyle Kuzma is kind of one of those guys, right? He can do a lot of things very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. He's someone that gradually grew. I mean, so that's what you see in a lot of these kids who grow late, who start off as guards, and then boom, you hit a growth spurt. Now you went from 6'3", now you're 6'8", 6'9", and so you have those guard skills, and that's what you see in a guy like Kuz, who's able to handle the ball, push it off the rebound and make plays for himself and others. It just makes you that much harder to defend, and that's one of the reasons why the Warriors they just stretch you out so far on the court, because everybody can do a little bit of everything outside of their 5-man for them and Pachulia, but everybody else is a threat.
We're talking with Riverside's own Clint Parks here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Clint, if we could for a moment just circle back and rewind to your King High School days. You mentioned some huge names coming out of King High School, of course, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Snell. So that was an era of King basketball. They had some really good players going through that Wolves program. When you look back, I mean, it didn't get any bigger than that, right, than King High School basketball in the day. I say the day, but I mean like a decade ago.
No, for sure. I mean, it started with Marvin Lee. He was like a brother. And he started it all in 2002 with the state championship when, I mean, their second year of varsity basketball. And, I mean, they did have a really good run. It was definitely the top school in the area. I mean, if you look at it, 2 NBA players are in the league right now starting on teams from King High School. I mean, if we're just being honest, like and in my time, that's never been done. Like, no one can claim that, and they've won a state championship. At that time, that was the first basketball state championship in the area, in 2002, and sent a lot of good kids to college. And yeah, it was big time basketball being played over there.
Kawhi Leonard, Tony Snell, you mentioned Marvin Lee as well. When you have guys like that coming up through a high school program, Clint, obviously you know a lot more basketball than I ever will. Is it easy to spot talent that quickly at the high school level? I mean, do you see a guy and you're like, okay, he has NBA written all over him. He's a no-brainer. That guy's going to make it all the way. Or do you look at a guy and say, you know what? If he does this and this and we kind of mold him a little bit, he's got a chance. I mean, were some of these guys no-brainers, or did you have to work with him a little bit?
Those guys obviously had the tools, but it was the work that we put in together. I mean, since they were bringing them up through the program, and I mean, obviously the work that they put in on by themselves as well. But it was never where they were like, they weren't McDonald's All-Americans. Nobody was saying in high school, like, yeah, we thought they could get there, but they had to put the work in, and that's a credit to them as well for the work ethic that they displayed over the years to get to this point.
Well, Clint, you mentioned a bunch of the basketball guys that you work with. So are you always on the move going from city to city, or do the guys come to you? How does that work? Because it sounds like you've got, like you mentioned, Creighton, you got Kuzma in the NBA, you got guys all over the place.
It's a mixture of both sometimes. In the summer times, they're usually out here. Try to get all my guys together so we could all work together, and that's one of the things that it's been nice about it is the older guys being able to sort of mentor the next generation of guys that are coming up, and I think that's big. I mean, just being able to have the younger kids be able to feel like they can reach out to the guys who are where they want to get. And I think that's invaluable for them, and it's only going to continue to grow.
Hey, Clint, before we go, how can people get more information from you or maybe follow you on social media?
On social media, you can follow me on Twitter, Brotherhood05, and also my website, which is going up pretty soon, cpsatraining.com. I had my first clinic in Orange Vista, right in the beginning of the school year, Orange Vista High School, home of Armand Muldrew, who's actually a very talented guard, and we had Kyle Kuzma and Jamal Franklin come out, and we're looking to do something again when the season's over, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Just trying to get back in the community and help the young kids kind of learn the ropes and help them get better and chase their dreams as well.
Yeah, who knows, Clint? The next Kawhi Leonard could be out there right now, right?
Yep, you just got to find them.
All right, that's Clint Parks here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Clint, we appreciate it. Let's do it again soon.
All right, thanks for having me on, Pep. Really appreciate it.
No problem, brother. That's Clint Parks here. Again, working out with a bunch of different basketball guys from all over the place. Maybe most notably right now, Kyle Kuzma of the Lakers. And again, he's a rookie. Lonzo Ball's a rookie. And going into the season, of course, Lonzo was going to get all the attention, right? He comes from the Ball family, big baller, LeVar Ball. He's from Chino Hills. He played at UCLA. Like, all the signs, all the arrows pointed to Lonzo Ball, and that's exactly how the Ball family liked it. But think about it. Kyle Kuzma has been the guy this year for the Lakers. He's going to be a starter for Luke Walton, I think, for years to come. Lonzo Ball, I don't know if he even stays with the Lakers beyond his rookie contract. In fact, we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the show. I don't know if he even stays with the Lakers beyond this current rookie contract. It's a 4-year deal with the Lakers. But Kyle Kuzma, he's going to be a building piece. Jeff Gorham and I talk about this all the time. Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, those two guys you can't let go. Julius Randle might be playing himself into a contract. He's been playing pretty well of late, but I don't know if the Lakers will watch him walk or not, but he's been playing pretty well lately. But Brandon Ingram and Kuzma, I think, are two guys that if you're Luke Walton, if you're Magic Johnson, those are two guys that are young and talented that you can keep around for a long, long time. And as you heard from Clint Parks, Kyle Kuzma is very coachable. I love to hear that. I haven't heard that, the term coachable with a lot of other players, but Kyle Kuzma is one of them. So if you're a Lakers fan, I would feel good about the future if you've got Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram in your corner. Hopefully they keep them around beyond those rookie contracts. But Kyle Kuzma, again, all the attention was on Lonzo Ball, but the guy who actually went out there and backed it all up was Kyle Kuzma. So he's a stud. I'm excited about this kid, and he's really good out of the Utah Utes, and obviously working with our own Clint Parks out of Riverside. The Riv raised me. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, how about some baseball? Breaking news from the Dodgers, although maybe not technically breaking news because we all kind of saw the writing on the wall. We'll talk Dodger baseball when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
If you don't say you love the Dodgers, you might not get into heaven.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it!
Inland Empire sports fans turn to the...
We're small, family-owned, strive for quality pre-owned vehicles. We're not a volume dealer, and we take every deal as personal to us. We're a low-stress environment. We're not a pressure sales house. If you want to shop us, you're more than welcome to shop us. We have, like I said, great rates, competitive financing, a lot of one-owner, clean Carfax, clean title vehicles. As you see, we have Carfax everywhere. That's most important to us, to educate our customers before they make a purchase. We're right off of Ontario, right off a couple exits off the 15 freeway, off Cajalco, off El Cerrito, and we're right on the main drag going into Dos Logos and the Crossings. We have great financing, we have great lenders that we're using. We do buy, sell, trade, cash for your car, whatever we need to do to help accommodate the customer, that's what we're here for. We have a little bit of everything. We start at about $69.95 and go all the way up to $100,000. We have Escalades, we have commuters, we have pickup trucks, we have Jeeps, sport utilities, and if we don't have it, our specialty is finding you exactly what you're looking for.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
Internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
My name is Dale Pazinski. I volunteer with United Way to help the homeless in my community learn computer skills and build a basic resume. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Cool. There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Visit discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Jeremy, you're amazing!
Oh, God, I think you're amazing.
Oh, my God, don't ever leave me.
Ever.
Good. Because I'd find you.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Welcome back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. Where's Jeff? Where's Jeff? I think he's sleeping outside. He might be. I just really don't know right now. Jeff was in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, the cradle of life for American Olympians. Like, it was birthed right there in Steamboat Springs. And we're not joking. More Olympians have come from that little town in Colorado than any other place in America. There's 31 Olympians in South Korea right now from the state of Colorado. That leads all of the states in the United States. I think California has like 22, but Colorado has 31. That leads all the states. And little old Steamboat Springs, Colorado has 6 of them. And when you look at overtime, Steamboat Springs has more Olympians than any other state, any other city. So, of course, we sent Jeff there to really get to the bottom of it. You know, really investigate, really get his hands dirty. He was driving around snowmobiles and doing Jeff Gorham kind of things, and to bring you the very best in Olympic sports coverage. The only problem is, I guess Colorado's having like the storm of the century. So Jeff he was white-knuckling his minivan like he was trying to drive out of Steamboat Springs. He's trying to get home, Greg.
I guarantee he was driving like he was driving California, and I guarantee he was hydroplaning in the streets of Colorado.
He was sliding around, wasn't he?
Yes.
Fishtailing. And have you driven in snow before?
No, I haven't, but I know why they probably put snow chains for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to slide off the road.
Snow. Maybe as a kid, I loved the snow, but now, nah.
Yeah, last time we wanted to do snow as a family, you know what we did? Here's a trick for all you IE folks out there, and you guys probably already know this too. So I think it was right after last Christmas, so not the Christmas we just had, but the Christmas before. We had booked a cabin up in Big Bear.
Okay.
And of course, the storm of the century blew in that week. I don't have snow chains for my car. I wasn't prepared to drive in the snow. I certainly wasn't going to let my wife drive. I drive the car, right? I'm the man. I'm 40. I'm a man. So equal opportunity, right? No, I drive the car. We had the cabin in Big Bear, and then the storm of the century just blew in and just ate up the Inland Empire. I said, we're not going up there. But I felt really bad because we promised snow to the kids. Mm-hmm. They wanted to see the snow. So here's what we did. We went out to Palm Springs. You know where I'm going with this already? The tram. So we went out to Palm Springs and we got on the tram. Mm-hmm. So like at the bottom of the tram, it was like 65 degrees. It's kind of like today. Like go outside, it was kind of like today. We get to the top of the tram, like 9,000 feet later, it looked like the North Pole. It was a blizzard. It was snowing sideways when we got up there. Wow. It was a mess. It was 2 degrees. It was 20 degrees, 2 degrees with the wind chill. It was perfect. Seriously, it was snowing super hard and it was windy, so it was blowing it sideways. It felt like we were at Santa's workshop. It was like the North Pole. And we didn't have to drive in the snow. We drove to Palm Springs. We got on the tram. We took the 20-minute ride up the tram, 9,000 feet. We get out. And we're in a winter wonderland. So then
I'm scared of heights, so I don't know about that tram. I don't know if I'm down with that tram, but...
Do you get motion sick at all?
Yes.
Oh, you do? You can look down and just play on your phone, Greg, and not look out the window.
I'd be like a cat in the bathtub.
Fighting it the whole time?
You know, I don't know if you ever went on that Ferris wheel at California Adventure, the rock and roller.
No.
One time I went in there, and I went in the rock and roller one.
Never again.
Never again. If I was a cat, 8 lives were gone.
Just on that one
bad
ride?
It was, yes. And then I was with some little kid that said, "Hey, it would be cool if we fell off and we fell into the water and we got money." I said, "No, it's not."
No, that's not cool.
It's not.
That's not even a little bit cool. That's not cool at all.
So when we finally got done with that Ferris wheel, I had to kiss the ground. I said, "Never again."
I'm back.
Yes.
I'm back. I'm in one piece. So, Jeff, if you're listening right now, he's probably in a plane somewhere. If you want snow, brother, I know you went out there to investigate the Winter Olympics because, of course, here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM, we want to bring you great sports coverage of the 2018 Winter Olympics. So he went to Steamboat Springs to get the very latest. But if you want snow, Jeff, I advise you just drive to Palm Springs, get on the tram. 20 minutes later, boom, winter wonderland. The family enjoys the snow. You're running around. You're doing snow angels. My kids were eating snow. It was great, and I didn't have to drive in it. That was the best part.
So do you like snow?
Yeah, I like snow. I grew up in an area where it snowed maybe like once or twice a year, and sometimes it would stick. You know, it would stick on the ground and actually build up a little bit. So I like it. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. I'd rather be warm than cold.
You know, out of all the years in the IE, we probably had snow maybe like twice here. But I don't even want to call it snow because it melted in 10 minutes. Like
it was gone?
Like it was a winter wonderland for like 6 a.m. and then at 6:10 it just disappeared.
So I live out in the Redlands. So I remember going to a basketball game at Tockwitz High School in Hemet, okay? It was Tockwitz against Beaumont. I covered the high school basketball game. I shot some great video. In fact, I remember there's some big-time dunks in that game. I was thinking, man, this is a great basketball game. So I took the back way back to the lands, all right? So what is that? Is that the 79 freeway?
Yes.
From, like, Hemet, and it connects with the 79 to the 60, I think it is? Does that sound right?
Yeah, it connects to, like, almost Banning, Beaumont and Banning. Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I took it back that way. When I got to, like, the 79, 60 area, like the Beaumont area, it was snowing. Whew. And I'm like, oh, man, this is great. This was, like, January, okay? A couple years ago. It was snowing. But by the time I got to, I'd say, Yucaipa, it was rain. Like, it wasn't snow anymore. So I kept thinking, man, we were that close to having snow. Like, it was snowing in Beaumont.
Okay, so if you drove in snow, how fast do you go? How fast are you supposed to go driving in snow?
On the freeway or just the side? I don't know.
Let's say the freeway. How fast?
In the snow? Well, if the road is clear, I would say like 40.
Okay. But if it's icy?
If you hit black ice, you're done.
Like, I've seen a lot of those Instagram videos of, like, people driving fast, like, in Colorado or, like, Wisconsin, and then, like, they hit the brakes, and you just see them hydroplaning. Like, man, it's like, it's going to happen. It's like seeing a bowling ball hit the bowling pin. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and you can't hit your brakes. It only makes it worse. You got to almost, like, steer out of it. You can't hit your brakes. So
steady she goes.
Yeah. So luckily, Jeff, who's not really equipped to drive in the snow, as far as we know, Greg, he made it to the airport. So he's there safely. Whether the plane was able to take off because of all the snow in Colorado to get back to the Inland Empire, I just don't know. He said he was boarding. Hopefully he's coming back. He might be in the air right now back to the Inland Empire. Fingers crossed. Because tomorrow night we got UCR taking on Cal State Northridge in basketball. He's supposed to do the game with me. We'll see. Besides the world-famous Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, we got that too. But he's supposed to be somewhere between here and Colorado. Hopefully he's going to be back because he was in a winter wonderland. In fact, if you follow us on Twitter at @inland_sports, there's video of Jeff cruising around in his snowmobile.
I don't get it. He said he didn't have a really good time, but in those videos he was smiling like he was a snow model.
Oh, Mr. Smiley, man. You could see teeth. He was smiling. He was all happy. Yeah, but when he got on the phone with us off the top of the show, because he called in real quick from the airport. He's like, man, my family's driving me nuts. I hate all the snow. He's like, I just want to get back home to the IE and get my bed and forget about all this. So prayers up to Jeff.
No place like home.
No place like home, man. The 951, the 909. And real quick, we got to talk Dodger baseball right here. I'd love to talk about the snow more. And again, go to Palm Springs. Take the tram if you want to do the snow. I highly advise it. We need to get them on as a sponsor. I just gave them tons of love here. Breaking news from Los Dodgers. And not a huge surprise. This is not really breaking news because Clayton Kershaw it's been announced by Dave Roberts, the skipper, that Clayton Kershaw will be the opening day starter for the Dodgers. So it is breaking news, but not exactly a huge surprise, right? Like, we all figured Clayton Kershaw would be the guy. He's going to get the ball for the Dodgers on opening day for Los Angeles. Not a huge shock, but they did announce it today, so we'll call it breaking news. So
you're telling me Yu Darvish ain't?
Yu Darvish! You said he's holding out for more money?
He's not gonna start.
No, as you put it, Greg, you gone.
You gone.
You gone, brother. He's out. He's with the Cubs, man. He got a big payday, so I don't feel too sorry for him. It was $126 million, so I don't feel too bad for Yu Darvish. But yeah, Clayton Kershaw is going to be the guy again. Opening day starter. 8 opening days starts for Clayton Kershaw on the Dodgers. And here's the other thing too. His battery mate will likely be Austin Barnes from Riverside Poly. So Dave Roberts had this to say about the catcher situation, the backstop. So Yasmani Grandal started last year as the starting catcher for the Dodgers. He's pretty good. I mean, he's got a big bat. He can hit some home runs. He made 113 starts, most of them early in the season. Austin Barnes from Riverside Poly, he came on late. He started 49 games, but he started most of them in the postseason. When Dave Roberts had to make a decision who's going to be the starting catcher for the Dodgers, he went with Austin Barnes. So going into spring training, Austin Barnes is the guy to beat, although Dave Roberts did say that Yasmani is coming back to spring training, and he's hoping to win his job back. So they're looking for some great competition at the catcher's position. But if you just look at the postseason, when the games mean the most, right? If you're playing a regular season game, it's a Wednesday morning in Cincinnati, and you're starting Yasmani Grandal, big deal. But if you're starting Game 5 against the Houston Astros in the World Series and you're sending out Austin Barnes, that speaks volumes. Who do you have more confidence in to not only manage the pitching staff, but also Austin Barnes came on as a pretty good hitter as well at the plate. Dave Roberts has more confidence in Austin Barnes. I know it's going to be an open competition in spring training, but you got to figure, at least the way the end of the season panned out for the Dodgers, that Austin Barnes, it's his job to lose. He still has the inside track. Yasmani Grandal is going to have an incredible spring training for the Dodgers to win that starting catcher's position back from the pride of Riverside Poly, Austin Barnes. So we'll see how spring training goes, and it's upon us. Pitchers and catchers have reported today for a lot of teams, including the Halos, including the Dodgers. And coming up, well, gosh, in about an hour now, this show's flying by. In about an hour at 5:30, we're going to have Trent Rush, Angels reporter, and he'll give us the very latest on the Halos as they have reported to spring training, including Showtime. Shohei Ohtani, the new Angels signee from Japan, who's going to be a star pitcher and also a big bat again from the plate. He can swing it. So we'll talk to Trent Rush about that. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, speaking of Halos, one of the great Angels of all time and your skipper for the UC Riverside baseball team, the great Troy Percival. He's scheduled to join us next. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
I'm Lieutenant Frank Drebin, police.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back. You hear the storm brewing out there. Is Jeff Gorham going to make it back to the Inland Empire? That's the big question for everybody, right? Snowed in Colorado, Steamboat Springs. We sent him all the way out there to bring you Winter Olympic sports coverage. And, of course, Jeff had to battle the snow. Would he make it back? He's supposed to be on his way. Should be on a plane right now. Fingers crossed if everything came together. Right, Greg?
Hopefully he's not hopefully he's not in the security line getting checked thoroughly.
He might be, but right now let's go straight to the Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change Celebrity Hotline. He's the skipper. He's the head coach of your UC Riverside baseball team, the great Troy Percival, joining us here on the show. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing just great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, we're excited to have you here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, it's tough to really think about opening day for baseball. I know we're still in the dead of winter. It's February, but for you college guys, you get cracking right away. Opening day for the Highlanders coming up on Friday. In fact, not only is it opening day, but you've got two games down in Arizona. You got Washington State and Nebraska. Are you excited just to see opening day and see what you got on the field?
Oh, without question. I think the coaches and players alike, we're all tired of playing each other. We're tired of practicing. We just want to go out and compete.
So you're going down to Tempe, I believe Diablo Stadium as well, right? The home of the spring home of the Angels.
Yeah, we arranged this about a year and a half ago. Started with Nebraska. Me and Erstad got it together, and we're hoping to do this every year.
Do you have fond memories going back to Arizona? Does it feel a little bit like spring training when you take UCR back down there?
Well, I think when I show up to the park, I get a little nostalgic. But we've put in a good 4 months of fall ball, and we've worked our butts off, ready to get after it and compete. So my mind's more so on that game than it is my past.
Do you get to a point where maybe you're having like an inter squad scrimmage, or I know you've had the alumni game, which is it's kind of loose, but you guys still compete. At some point, you're like, okay, we got to see another team. We got to go out there. We got to play somebody else. We got to see what we really have here before we get to conference play.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We try to keep our inter-squad games as realistic as possible. We split them up in 2 squads, and we compete to the best of our ability. But there's nothing you can do to really simulate the nerves and get out there and play a different uniform.
So how much homework do you have to do on Washington State or Nebraska, or is it more about your Highlanders at this point, making sure that you guys are doing the things that you guys need to do to win the baseball game as opposed to what Nebraska or Washington State might bring to the table?
Yeah, my opinion is no matter what level you're playing at, it's good to have scouting reports. It's good to have an idea how the other team plays. But the fact is, if you don't play your own game and play to the best of your abilities, you're not going to win. So we really focus on what we do, and it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We just have to go out and do what we do.
We're talking with Troy Percival, the head baseball coach at UC Riverside, here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Coach, talk about some of your top returners, because you do have some guys back. You do have some bats near the middle of the lineup that are returning here. But who are some of the guys that from last season that you're going to lean on again for this year?
Yeah, it's a unique roster that we have. We've got 17 new faces, 13 are freshmen, but we still have a very big core of guys from last year. You'll see Yeager Taylor, Connor Cannon, Colby Schultz. He'll be our mainstay anchor at shortstop, one of the better defenders and offensive shortstops that you'll find in the country. We'll be relying on those guys heavily, not to mention Godinho behind the plate. And we've got some returner guys on the mound. We've got Hachio Kahata, Trenton Toplicar, Max Compton, and Jared Morton, all seniors and juniors. So we've got a good mix of young talent with some guys that have been around here a little bit, showing them how to play.
And I know you recruit the IE pretty hard. You've got more local guys in that Highlander blue again this season, including a guy that we've had on our show and we're real excited about, Nate Webb out of King High School here in Riverside. Talk about some of the new guys that you might expect to see some significant playing time as freshmen. Who could be that guy this year?
It's very unique that you just mentioned Nate Webb. He's hitting right now in our inter-squad games. So,
he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, you're going to see him anchoring down third base pretty regularly. You'll see my son. Looks like he's earned a spot on the weekend, if not a midweek starter. Kevin West, who came from King, he's a sophomore this year. Pretty much our whole team. I could go through our whole team, and it's all Inland Empire guys. But it's a very fun team. They've all played together as young kids, and then you bring in a few JC guys. We brought in Dean Miller from RCC that went to Ramona. Another really big power guy for us.
Well, going back to your son, Cole Percival, it's a very unique experience, I would assume, to have a father-son combination as the head coach and as a player. Is it nice as a father, take off the manager hat for a second, the head coach, but is it nice as a father to be around your son that much? I mean, because you basically see him every single day, right? Because you're the head coach. I mean, some dads would probably send their kid off and, they're traveling around the country on their college baseball team, but you get to go with them. You're the head coach. Is it kind of cool to have that experience with your son?
Yeah, I see him every day. I can't say I talk to him every day, but he's here. No, it's a great experience, especially when I didn't get to see him pitch much in the high school ranks, to get an opportunity to work with him and watch him mature and grow and get stronger. And, that's not something every coach gets to do.
Are you going to make him a closer, or is he still a starter right now?
No, he's a little different than his dad. He's got a bigger array of pitches, and if he just throws strikes, he'll probably remain a starter. He's 6'6", 215, is a little different than his daddy.
Talking with Troy Percival, the head baseball coach at UC Riverside, here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you, so you were a catcher converted into a pitcher. Were you a pretty good hitter?
Absolutely not.
Hence why you moved to pitcher, right?
That is exactly why I went to pitching. There wasn't a whole lot of contact being made, and when there was, I wasn't fast enough to get to first.
Okay, well, that kind of blew up my next question because I was going to call you the original Shohei Ohtani, a guy who could hit and pitch, but I guess that wasn't you.
No, he's probably got a hair more talent than I had. I was blessed with a good arm, and I learned how to get people out.
I know, Coach, like at the Little League level, and maybe sometimes you see it in high school, even some of the premier programs like King High School, like a guy like Nate Webb. When you have a really good baseball player who can pitch, who could hit, you find ways to get them on the field. You find ways to get them in the lineup. We're finally seeing this a little bit, I guess, at the major league level with a guy like Shohei Ohtani, who apparently, I guess we'll see it for ourselves pretty soon, that a guy who can dominate from the mound, but also a big stick in the middle of the lineup as well. I don't know. Have we seen something like this before, where you have a guy that can do things like that very well on the mound and at the plate?
I don't know that we've seen a lot of it since the days of Babe Ruth, but I think those days are coming again, especially with the way contracts are going and what have you, and guys are just so much better athletes now with all the training that they get at a younger level. We've got 5 guys here that are going to go both ways, and you saw a couple guys got drafted in the first round last year that could possibly go both ways. So I think you're going to see more and more of it, but it takes a very special athlete to be able to do both.
Yeah, that was my follow-up question there. If you've got guys at UC Riverside this season, or maybe guys that you've coached the past couple of years, that you've had to make a tough decision. Are these guys, a field position player, or are they better on the mound? I see a lot of high school baseball. I remember Haz Quijada at San Gorgonio. Great left-handed swing. It was really pretty. I know you use him as a pitcher. So do you have guys, maybe Haz is one of those 5 that you just mentioned. Do you have guys at UCR right now that can do both?
We do. Mike Haas got 2 at-bats last year. He's pretty much primarily a pitcher for us, but we've got Nate Webb that'll do both. Connor Cannon will do both. Matt Hardy will do both. A.J. Sawyer. We're going to utilize these guys for what they can do, and if they're better on the mound at one point, that may be end up where they are, but at this point right now, you play them where they can help you.
All right, so if you're an Angels fan and you like Shohei Ohtani, you can come right out here to the Plex and see the next best thing, because we got like 5 of them here at UC Riverside that can pitch and they can hit. Coach Percival, we appreciate the time. Best of luck on opening day this Friday at Diablo Stadium against Washington State and Nebraska. We sincerely appreciate the time.
All right, thank you much.
All right, that's UC Riverside head baseball coach Troy Percival here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. And going back to what we were just talking about, I know a lot of people are making a big deal out of Shohei Ohtani, like, wow, this is a guy who is a major league quality pitcher, and he's a big-time hitter at the big league level as well. And we're going to see it for ourselves. Of course, he did it professionally in Japan, but we're going to see it for ourselves here as he reported to the Angels today, spring training down there in Tempe at Diablo Stadium. So we're going to see it for ourselves. But I know people are making a big deal about this, but when you cover local sports here in the Inland Empire, we actually see it quite a bit. And I'm glad Troy Percival brought it up, because even beyond the Little League level, of course, in Little League, you get like 1 or 2 like really good players, and they pitch and they catch and they play shortstop, and they're the best hitter. They pitch and they hit cleanup and all that stuff. But even at the high school level, I mean, ask the skipper, Steve Madrill at King High School. Coach Percival at UCR brought up the fact that Nate Webb was like the closer at King High School. He was one of the team's best hitters. He did a little bit of everything. When you have a great baseball player, they can pitch, they can hit. Like, again, they're hitting cleanup. They're like your number 1 guy, or maybe they're the closer like Nate Webb did when he was closing out some games at King High School last year. Kind of going back to those old Little League days. If you're a great baseball player, they're going to find room for you on the field. They're going to let you pitch. You're going to hit leadoff. You're going to hit cleanup. Like, it's kind of going back to those Little League days. And I know Shohei Ohtani's doing it. He's getting a lot of attention. Been like, oh, my gosh, this guy can pitch and he can hit. This is amazing. But really, right here in the Inland Empire, we see that all the time at the high school level. In fact, they're still doing it at UC Riverside. Nate Webb, the true freshman out of King High School, according to Coach Percival, will be the starting third baseman for the Highlanders. He's also going to pitch. Like, he's that good. Coach Percival just wants him on the field so he can impact the game.
It's something in the water.
Something in the water at UCR, right? Something's going on. Maybe it's the IE, something in the 951 and the 909. And Husky Hada, yes, he only had 2 at-bats last year for the Highlanders. He's primarily a pitcher now at UC Riverside. But I remember that guy at San Gorgonio High School. Pretty left-handed swing. Something about a left-handed swing looks so good. And Husky Hada had a great left-handed swing. So if you're looking for guys who can do it all, check out the Highlanders, but they will start the season on the road again this Friday on the road at Diablo Stadium against Washington State and Nebraska. All right, when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to talk about Snapchat. You guys all do the Snapchat thing. Do you do it, Greg? You don't do Snapchat? So Snapchat like disappears, right? It goes away, but it doesn't really go away, right? That's the thing. People do, what's it, screenshots? Screenshots.
It's like your favorite sports rash. It never goes away.
Never goes away, man. It'll hang with you forever. Right when you thought you beat it, it tells you. Oh, it does. Oh, see, I'm not a Snapchat guy. Twitter, Instagram. I do the gram. I do the book, Facebook. Is that what they call it? The book? Nope, they don't. Well, I just started something new today. Right here. We're gonna talk about Snapchat and how it relates to Vista Marietta's Sua Cravens. He was a safety. He was a linebacker out of Vista Marietta High School. He went to USC. Then he went to Washington Redskins. There's been a lot of question marks, a lot of questions about Sua Cravens. Does he want to play football? Is he going back to the Redskins? When are we going to see him again? He did a Snapchat story, right? Not on the book. Not on the old IG. Is that Instagram IG? I'm deep in the social media game. So we'll talk Snapchat. We'll talk Sua Cravens when we come back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Are you hungry? I know I'm okay right now. Thank you.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
Back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Snapchat. We talk a little Snapchat. Strong in the snap game. And the book. Nobody calls it. No? Okay. I just started something new, man. We're trendsetters here. Pioneers, trailblazers on the Inland Sports Show. We're proudly brought to you by Spoiled, quick quality oil change, Ken Sporting Goods, Boost Performance Training, and Catalana Motors in Corona. We are the only sports talk show in the IE weekdays, 3 to 6 right here on the flagship Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. So we got to talk about some Snapchat and how this goes back to Sua Cravens, formerly of Vista Marietta High School right here in the IE. He then went on to USC and then the Washington Redskins. Now, let's rewind just a little bit. Let's set the table. Let's preface this Snapchat first with Sua Cravens just kind of mysteriously left the Washington Redskins. And there were all these reports about, you know, did Sua still want to play football? Was there really anything wrong? Did the Redskins want him back? He just kind of disappeared, wasn't really around the team. He would kind of post cryptic things on social media. It was just kind of hard to gauge what was really going on with the Washington Redskins. I'm a big Sua fan. We covered him in high school. He always had a smile on his face. He loved the game of football. I'm a Sua fan. It's just a little strange. You know, we've had him actually on the show before when we were still on Saturdays a couple of years ago. When he was still at USC, we had him on the show. Great guy. Still a big Sua fan. So we still don't know exactly what's going on here because, again, he left the Redskins. He wasn't around the team. Would he come back? Well, again, another kind of a cryptic Snapchat story. But, Kona, you say that Snapchat, it goes away unless you're quick and you do a screenshot. I call them screen grabs. Is that dumb? It's okay. It's okay? You know what I mean, right? The old screen grab on the book. Right? That's not so good. That's not good. Well, here's what Sua Cravens had to do. It's a Snapchat story, so it's like several messages, pictures in a row. And there's a couple words that might be borderline cuss words. I've never cussed in my life. I'm not going to start today, so I'm just going to go bleep when I get to them. Is that fair? Okay, all right. Now we're all on the same page. Here's what Sua Cravens had to say on Snapchat. This is Sua. It is really funny to me how far the media was reaching last year to try and bash my last name. The whole Sua has to prove himself to the locker room again, and there's a beef between him and his teammates was completely forged. LOL. My relationship with my teammates and friends on the team was never damaged. There was never a beef. My homies checked in on me. We still kicked it. There was never an issue or divide. LOL. It was just the media making a story when they didn't have one. I'm going to continue. This is Sua. This is not me. This is Sua Cravens. And of course, Skins fans, they ate it up because they needed something. So the media took advantage of that. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, because the media will make up beep because it's their job to stay relevant. Don't look at me. Don't look at me, Sua. I'm a Sua fan. Finally, the last, is it picture or message in a Snapchat? Picture, right?
It would be a picture.
It would be a picture. The last picture, but there's words in the picture. It's like it's like you went in your little notes app and you wrote something and you did like a screen grab and that's your picture. Exactly. Screenshot. Right. The book. Perfect. Now. This is the final picture in the Snapchat story here for Sua Cravens. If you think I have anything to prove to anyone because I was going through a brain injury, didn't know that, you out yo bleep mind. My health is what's most important, not y'all entertainment. So I literally laughed every time I saw that BS. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Sua Cravens on Snapchat. Again, I'm a big fan of Sua Cravens, and like a lot of people here from the Inland Empire, we were just genuinely concerned when he just kind of went AWOL. Like, he was on the team, and then he was gone, and there was no rhyme or reason. It was like, you know, is Sua hurt? Is he still hurt? Like, why isn't he rehabbing with the team, or, you know, at least be on the sidelines? It was just very mysterious and cryptic. I would have just liked Sua Cravens and the head coach or the GM of the Washington Redskins to just sit down and do like a little presser, like a press conference, and be like, hey, Sua's still one of our guys. You know, he's going through some things right now. He's got an injury or whatever was going on. He's still one of our guys. You know, he's going to be on the shelf for about 6 months, but, you know, as soon as he's ready to go, he's going to be back in the fold. You know, he's still part of the Redskin family. But it was nothing from the Redskins, and then just kind of cryptic messages out there. So, I don't know, man. Sua, if you're listening to us right now, and I'm sure you are, man, we'd love to have you on the show sometime soon. He's done the show before, but again, he's very under the radar. He just kind of pops up here and there. So if you watch closely on the Snapchat stories, and if you do a screen grab real quick, like somebody did, because it's all over Twitter now, somebody did that quick screen grab, screenshot, the book. Somebody did it on Snapchat and grabbed it from Sua Cravens, and now it's out there. So Sua Cravens, we're still big fans. We just want to know what's going on. What's going on with you? What's going on with the Washington Redskins? And we're hoping to see you back at that number 36, flying around the secondary. If you're playing safety, who knows? That's a good question for you, Sua. Are you playing linebacker or are you playing safety? You did both at USC. Back in your Vista Marietta days, you were a safety and you were a receiver and you returned kicks and you were a running back. But at USC, you were linebacker and safety. What are you now, Sua? I'm gonna say you're a safety. That's one of the questions I would ask you when you do the show here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, we come back here on the Inland Sports Show. Who wants to talk about LeVar Ball? Yeah. Speaking of the media and reporters, come on, so there's got to be somebody out there who's talking LeVar Ball. Big baller. LeVar Ball. Big baller. We found a reporter in Lithuania. He actually has a video interview with LeVar Ball. We're going to effort to actually get this reporter from Lithuania on the show sometime this week. But he has a video interview with LeVar Ball about him saying he wants all three of his sons on the same NBA team. So I know there's reports out there. It's not like, well, I wonder if LeVar Ball really said that. I wonder if it was like hearsay. No. It's straight from the horse's mouth. He said it. We're going to play the interview from a video from Lithuania talking about him, talking about Lonzo Ball not re-signing with the Lakers, and getting Melo and the middle ball Jello all on the same NBA team because it's all part of LeVar Ball's master plan. So if you want to hear from LeVar Ball, and I know you do, right? Who's with me? Anybody? Nobody? All right, we're going to hear from him anyways. And then right around the corner after that, Trent Rush, ESPN play-by-play man for the Big West Conference and also Angels reporter. We'll be right back. You know, it's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
How you guys doing? Ray Baz here again at Corona High with the Corona High football program with the one and only Pep Fernandez. Today's boost training tip, it's all about top-end speed, getting our knees up. We're talking about the A-run. Come see what it's all about. Okay, so we're working on right now, you can call it top-end speed, absolute speed, max speed. Really all that means is that we're opening up our stride, getting our knees up. And one of the things we like to emphasize here is that cyclical action with the legs. So with the A-run, all we're doing is pulling our heel to our butt, stepping over and around the opposite knee, and it's all about turnover. We want to get as many reps as we can. So Jake's going to go ahead, he's going to jog to the hash, and then he's going to hit a nice and quick A-run all the way to the opposite hash. Here we go, ready? And go. Jog, 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 hit. Heel to the butt, toes up, over and around, over and around, over and around, over and around. Nice, very nice, very nice. So you want to get as many reps as you can here. You always want to have your ankle locked, toes pointing to the top of your shoe. A great drill to emphasize is getting your knees up, getting that cyclical action, the A-run. If you're not doing it, you better be doing it, and we do it right here at Boost.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I think that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, in terms of speed, power, strength, agility.
Volunteer, go to unitedway.org, because great things happen when we live united. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Flooded vehicles from recent hurricanes will soon be flooding the used car market, so it's buyer beware. Flooded vehicles are supposed to be dismantled for usable parts or crushed for scrap, and a flood title issued to that damaged car. But some unscrupulous dealers will buy a flooded vehicle, clean it up, and get it retitled with no indication it was flooded. Or uninsured cars will be cleaned up by the owner and sold online, also with no warning to the buyer. If the price seems too good to be true, there's a good chance you're buying a lemon. Make sure to check for flood damage and have a qualified mechanic inspect it before you write a check. The free VIN check service from the National Insurance Crime Bureau is a good place to start to see if a car has been in a flood. Go to www.nicb.org to check it out. And if you suspect fraud, give us a call at 1-800-TEL-NICB. That's 1-800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I'm not skating to anything with references to lady humps. I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
gets the people going.
It's
That's enough!
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Corum.
Welcome back to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM. It's just been kind of weird, because Jeff's not here. He's stuck in the snow somewhere in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, or in between here and there. And he's not here. I'm sitting in Jeff's seat. I'm usually standing up, pacing around because I'm kind of squirrely. I can't stand around. I got my Maine, University of Maine Black Bears hockey shirt on. It's just kind of a weird day around here. And it's going to get even weirder. I hope you like weird. Because we're going to hear from LeVar Ball. I know everybody out there wanted to hear from LeVar Ball. And again, nobody? There's got to be someone out there. All right, so we're going to hear from LeVar Ball from Lithuania. Again, we kind of set the table at the end of the previous segment where he wants all three of his sons on the same NBA team. And he'd prefer that to be the Lakers. He wants all three of them to be on the Lakers. Again, they all came from Chino Hills High School. Who the Can you imagine if the Clippers scooped him up? Oh, don't do it. No. Here's the deal, though. Jerry West runs the Clippers now. Jerry West would not let that happen. There's no way. Not even a little percentage chance. No way. So LeVar Ball wants all three of his sons to play for the Lakers. If the Lakers say, nah, we only, they've got Lonzo for a 4-year contract, rookie deal. If the Lakers say no, then he wants all three of his sons to play somewhere else altogether in the NBA. He will tell Lonzo, or he'll make him, whatever, that he's not going to re-sign with the Lakers. Now, of course, Lonzo's a grown man. He's got a baby on the way. He's a grown man. I'm sure he has an opinion. He's got a voice in all this, right? I mean, does he want to play for the Lakers? Would he tell his dad, Dad, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but this is like my dream scenario. I'm from Southern California. I played at Chino Hills High School. I dreamt about being the next Kobe Bryant, playing on the Lakers, the next Magic Johnson. I don't want to leave. The middle ball's not good enough to play for the Lakers. I don't want to leave. Leave me here. Quit talking. I want to play for the Lakers. Lonzo Ball's a grown-up, man. I know he's still young, but he's got a baby on the way. He's a grown man.
He's a grown man.
He needs to speak up. He needs to say something if he wants to stay there. His dad's just making it a very bad, awkward situation for everybody involved. So I don't know. I don't think Lonzo Ball's even tradable. Like, what other NBA team would be like, hey, bring that on. Bring the ball circus to town.
Nuggets.
The Nuggets? Nuggets are a playoff team now. I don't think they want that. It's a mess.
Suns.
Maybe Phoenix? I don't know. I don't even think Lonzo Ball is tradable at this point. If you were going to ask me right now, today, what would happen, I would say the Lakers would let Lonzo Ball either play out his contract and just let him go, or I don't know if you can even do this on a rookie contract. Can you just buy them out and say, dude, get out of here?
Give them to the Knicks.
We're going to buy out your contract and let you walk.
The Knicks or the Nets.
Where's Jeff Gorham? He's my basketball guy. He's the expert. I need to talk to him about this. I bet you the Lakers regret drafting him. And not because Lonzo's a bad guy. I'm not saying that. And you know, is he a star player? No, not yet. I'm not here bagging on Lonzo Ball. I'm just, man, LeVar Ball, what are you doing? It drives me nuts. I'm a father. I got little kids. I can't even put myself in his shoes. Like, it drives me nuts.
Okay, now think about this. How many other fathers out there are like gonna intimidate, like just do the same as LeVar does now that he's been doing this?
I hope he does not set a precedence like, hey, you know what? If you're influential, you can tell. This isn't, and we're not talking like AAU travel basketball or high school varsity. We're talking NBA. Is he thinking he can influence Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss and the Laker brass? Like, does he think he's going to influence their decisions and call the shots?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the problem. He does, and it's driving me nuts. So, anyways, LeVar Ball spoke with a reporter.
He controls Lithuania. He
can stay there. That's fine. He can control that. Fine. Whatever. Stay over there. And that's what they're going to do. If the Lakers will not sign Jello Ball, that's the middle ball. If the Lakers don't sign the middle ball, LeVar Ball says he's going to keep him over there in Lithuania until Melo is old enough to come to the NBA, and then they're all going to go to the same team together once Lonzo Ball's rookie deal with the Lakers is up. Let's hear from LeVar Ball from Lithuania talking about the whole situation.
The Ball boys are going to be reunited because I put that out there that I want my three boys to play for the Lakers. But if that does not happen, I'm telling you the story of what's going to happen first. They don't take Jello this year. I'll bring Jello back here to play with Melo for 2 years. Lonzo will be on his third year, and I will let every NBA team know that Lonzo is not going to re-sign with the Lakers, but we'll go to any team that take all three of my boys. Sounds cool. So that's my plan. Like, if you don't take Jello this year, you ain't got to take him if you don't want to. But Lonzo plays best chemistry with his brother. Why wouldn't you? He's a hell of a shooter. They don't play the same position. You see how successful he was when he was with his brother. Why wouldn't you be smart and say?
That's LeVar Ball. That's enough. That's LeVar Ball. And Greg, real quick, you brought up a great point. Wouldn't it be weird to have the first NBA contract for all three guys? You know what I mean? Like you said, it was like buying a Star Wars set where you get like multiple figures. It's either one or all. You know what I mean? One or none, or all of them or none.
Like, so, I mean, they can go to the G League, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that they have to play for the Lakers, right? They can be in the organization.
Yeah, they could go to El Segundo, whatever that. El Segundo, is it the Breakers, or I don't even know what their D League team's called. I don't know. I'm just tired of it. This show's a reflection of what people are talking about, and unfortunately, people are still talking about this, so we're going to talk about it. We're part of the problem. I get it. We are. We're part of the problem because we're talking about it right now.
We're feeding the beast.
We are. But wouldn't that be crazy if there was like, okay, yeah, we'll give you a contract, but it's one contract for three guys. So if we cut one of them, you're all gone. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be weird? It's like a Star Wars 3-figure set, you know? It's like you either get none or you get all three. There's no in between.
So he said in an interview that he plays best with his brothers. I mean, come on now. Like,
great. Stay in Lithuania. Play with your brothers.
Well, okay. If Lonzo can go to Lithuania and they can make some noise out there and then come bring it here, then I can
make some noise.
Maybe accept it.
Greg, don't go down that road.
I'm just saying, if Lonzo goes over there and if they become a superpower out there, and I'm just thinking hypothetically, then maybe yeah. But you know, it ain't gonna happen.
You're killing me right now. Not that I want to see them fail. That's fine. They can go to Lithuania and they can just go play in whatever league that is and do their thing and, you know, be big fish in a little pond. That's fine. Okay, I'm exhausted talking about that.
Everybody gets a trophy, Pep.
We're going to talk UCR basketball and Angels spring training with the great Trent Rush. He's on deck. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
Okay, people.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
Welcome to the local sports leader in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. You can find us on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM every single Saturday at 11 a.m. plus live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports Channel on YouTube. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
This is Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports is the undisputed sports leader in the IE and two-time finalist for the top TV radio show in the Inland Empire, thanks to our big-name guests, exclusive interviews, video highlights, and of course, nobody breaks more news than Inland Sports. Hosted by Big Salty Jeff Gorham and the IE Media Personality of the Year, Pep Fernandez, honored by the CIF Southern Section with its Champion for Character Award, the National Football Foundation, the Southern California Football Coaches Association, the Inland Empire Baseball Coaches Association, and the San Bernardino City Unified School District. We've teamed up with some outstanding companies in our community that are proud to call the IE home, and they care about local sports.
Hey, what's up, Pep? You too cool to come down here, man? Too big time now?
You can join our team too. If you're a local business or owner, shoot us an email at inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Nobody covers local sports like Inland Sports. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Always want to play the best teams, even in the playoffs. If we win the playoffs, I want it to be like we earned it.
Help us spread the word, and thanks for making Inland Sports the local sports leader in the Inland Empire. Welcome to the local sports leader in the Inland Empire, the Inland Sports Show. You can find us on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM every single Saturday at 11 a.m. plus live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports Channel on YouTube. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button.
This is Kenny Clark from the Green Bay Packers, and you're watching the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports is the undisputed sports leader in the IE and two-time finalist for the top TV radio show in the Inland Empire, thanks to our big-name guests, exclusive interviews, video highlights, and of course, nobody breaks more news than Inland Sports. Hosted by Big Salty Jeff Gorham and the IE Media Personality of the Year, Pep Fernandez, honored by the CIF Southern Section with its Champion for Character Award, the National Football Foundation, the Southern California Football Coaches Association, the Inland Empire Baseball Coaches Association, and the San Bernardino City Unified School District. We've teamed up with some outstanding companies in our community that are proud to call the IE home, and they care about local sports.
Hey, what's up, Pep? You too cool to come down here, man? Too big time now?
You can join our team too. If you're a local business or owner, shoot us an email at inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Nobody covers local sports like Inland Sports. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Always want to play the best teams, even in the playoffs. If we win the playoffs, I want it to be like we earned it.
Help us spread the word, and thanks for making Inland Sports the local sports leader in the Inland Empire.
back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
And welcome back. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM. So many things going on right now. Of course, we got the big UC Riverside taking on Cal State Northridge basketball game tomorrow night up there at Northridge in Big West Conference play. And also spring training, pitchers and catchers reporting all over the place, including down there at Diablo Stadium. Join us right now on the Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change Celebrity Hotline and a dear, dear friend of the show, the great Trent Rush. Trent, you must be a busy guy this time of year.
Hey, this is fun. This is like my overlap season. We got baseball starting in the middle of college hoops. Hey, this is what we love this. This is good. This is really good.
Well, you're bouncing between halos and, spring training and, of course, really the thick of the Big West Conference season now as we're coming down the home stretch. We got the Big West Conference tournament now on the horizon as these games are really being magnified, the importance of them. You're calling the game tomorrow night. Is it ESPN 3?
Yes, that's an ESPN 3 game. Watch ESPN app. Yep.
So it's UCR and Cal State Northridge, and I know from the outside looking in, someone might say, well, those two teams are at the bottom of the Big West Conference standings. But for a guy like myself, it feels like a playoff game. Like, this is a huge game for both of these schools.
For sure, and both teams are playing much better than they were when league started. Like, Northridge has a couple of wins. Riverside, after winning at Hawaii just last week, and even in that game when UC Irvine beat them by 10 just this past Saturday, I mean, I'm looking at that game going, hey, UC Irvine really had to work for that win. Dikembe Martin clearly was bothered in his return. I think that he's going to be much better after playing UC Irvine, because Irvine has a tendency to shut down whoever your best player is. And I think that Dikembe is going to have a lot of success against this Cal State Northridge team. And Riverside's playing good basketball. I mean, they have been in basically every game, if I'm not mistaken, with the exception of the two losses to UC Irvine. Every other game basically has been single digits, or at least it has been close to single digits down the stretch late into those games. So the Highlanders have competed with the exception of a couple of bad losses. Now that Larson's back on the court, I think the Highlanders are a much better team than the team that faced CSUN a couple of weeks ago in the first meeting.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Trent. And I know at this point of the season, moral victories aren't going to get the Highlanders into the Big West Conference tournament. They actually need wins. But you brought it up, the fact that UCR, when they played at UC Irvine, they lost by 39. That was the chaos theory. That was everything that could go wrong went wrong for that UC Riverside team. But when you guys came out here on Saturday, much different outcome. I mean, yes, you guys won by 10, but they were in it down the stretch. It just felt like a different game. And again, they have been so close in every single conference game except for that one game at UC Irvine. But they've been in every single other game. They just don't have the wins to show for it. And at this point of the year, being close is not going to get it done. They need to get some victories. And it starts tomorrow night against Cal State Northridge, one of those teams that they're looking up at right now, 2 games ahead of them in the conference. When you're doing your homework for the broadcast for tomorrow night, is that really just kind of I would say the battle cry of the Highlanders is, man, these are all playoff games. It starts tomorrow night. You got to get a win.
That's exactly right, and to do it at CSUN, I mean, they're basically in the same boat, too. In fact, like, coming into this game, I almost feel like Riverside is a team that is trending up, whereas CSUN may have plateaued. They were so down before their big win. Like, when they won at Riverside, I thought that was a game that Riverside absolutely should have won. I thought they gave it away at the end, and CSUN came away with the win and just dominated as the Highlanders just faded. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think Riverside's going to come out motivated, fired up. I know Justin Bell's going to have this team ready. And I think Riverside is playing with a sense of confidence now. You know, a league win's going to do that. Winning in Honolulu will do that. But they played well against UC Irvine. I know that UC Riverside is second in the Big West in field goal percentage against. Well, they held UC Irvine 9 minutes in the first half without a bucket. So they can do that. They can make it ugly. That was kind of an ugly game, I thought, for both teams. And again, that was a classic case of 2 very good defensive teams. I think Riverside doesn't get enough credit for their good defense. They play very well. They gave UC Irvine a lot of fits. Irvine just was too deep and had too many options, and that's how they won that game.
Well, Trent, we like to think that if UCR can just get to the Big West Conference tournament, they'll have a chance. And we believe that only because they've been close in every single game. There's not a single team in the Big West Conference that they at least can't hang with. I mean, they almost beat Fullerton on the road. They had a shot at UC Santa Barbara up there at the Thunderdome. Every single place they've been to, every single Big West Conference team they've played, they've been in there. They've been in that game. So we feel like, and I say we because, Jeff and I do the games, I just feel like if they can get to the Big West Conference tournament, if they could sneak in there, I mean, I don't know. I've seen crazier things happen. I mean, if they could just get to the conference tournament, that's half the battle.
For sure. And look, Cal Poly is the blueprint. That team in 2014, as the 7th seed, ends up upsetting everybody and going to the big dance. That kind of sends the message of what the Big West is. It's up for grabs. I think that there are clearly haves and have-nots in this league. UC Riverside has been a have-not, basically because they have not been able to come away with wins. That being said, you're right. They're competing, and they're in it, and they're a dangerous team. And they've basically been without Dikembe Martin for basically all of, with the exception of just a couple of games, in conference play. And he's a special player. I talk to other coaches around the league. Everybody talks about Dikembe as being somebody, man, we wish we had Dikembe Martin. And now that Alex Larson is healthy, once again, I think that Riverside can be dangerous. And then you put Chance Murray in a little bit of a different role with Dikembe out. That he had to go be more of a scorer, and he did that at times, and shooting percentage was better. I mean, it couldn't have gotten much worse, but it is better. And a guy like Ko Flippin gets valuable minutes. He's somebody that played a little bit last year, and now maybe he is somebody that off the bench can give you some extra things. DJ Sylvester really stepped up. Heck, the fact that Menno Dykstra had the game that he had at Hawaii, I think Riverside's playing well. There's a lot of positives in a year that has not featured very many of those. I think that Highlander fans finally can start to be positive about that group right now.
We've got Trent Rush here, Angels broadcaster, ESPN play-by-play man, calling the game for the Highlanders and the Matadors tomorrow night, ESPN 3. So, Trent, last time we ran into you out here in Riverside, we gave you some words, a phrase to say live on the air. Do you remember what that was?
It was a Star Wars phrase, was it not? Somebody told me it was.
It's a trap.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Oh yeah.
Now,
yeah, that was. Yeah, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, am I being a little too pushy if I ask if we could do that again?
Not at all. No, let's get it in. What you got? Did you come prepared this time? So you don't have to text me after the show? Come on now, Pep.
I'm going to text you after the show because my lesser half, Jeff Gorham, I was going to say my better half, but he's my
No, he's not.
It's a trap.
There it is. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
My lesser half is on his way back from Steamboat Springs in Colorado, and I will consult with him, but we'll come up with something pretty vanilla, you know what I mean? Something that you could slip in there and it's not going to disrupt.
It'll be good. We'll get it in. By the way, if you get a chance, look, I know that we want everyone to listen to the radio broadcast with Pep and Jeff because they're amazing and it's, it's quality play-by-play, and you got to be sure to listen to that. However, if you are out there and you're getting ready to watch this CSUN Riverside game, you do not want to miss our open on Valentine's Day from the Matadome. If you don't watch anything else, but you choose to watch the first 2.5 minutes of the broadcast, you will not regret it. It is going to be fantastic. I am billing this very high because it deserves to be that. Richie Schuler is there. He and I are reunited. We've only had one game together this year. We have not spent much time together. And Maddie the Matadome may be making a cameo appearance in our open. It's going to be off the charts. You don't want to miss it.
So, Trent, can you give us a hint? I feel like there's going to be some sort of a, I don't know, love connection, hearts involved, lots of red and pink or something like that.
I don't want to give too much away, but I would say that you are on the right track. I mean, it is Valentine's Day. Richie and I have been each other's Valentine before. Maybe that one ends up happening again. The only thing I'm disappointed about is I'm supposed to spend the day at Riviera tomorrow covering the Pro-Am to set up the golf tournament. I got to leave Rivy early to make sure that I am at the game 2 hours earlier than I normally would get there because we will be filming something that you are definitely going to want to see.
All in the name of love. So you got Richie Schuler, and he's put together. He dresses very nice. He shaves, all those things. My Valentine's Jeff. I'm spending Valentine's Day night with Jeff Gorham, which isn't not exactly the same.
Yeah, when I think of Jeff Gorham, and you can tell him I said this, I kind of think of the scene from Elf when Buddy says, "Hey, you're not Santa. You smell like beef and cheese." I think that's the guy that you got sitting next to you, and you can tell Jeff that I said that.
Beef and cheese. That's pretty spot on there for Jeff Gorham. We got Trent Rush here on the show. Trent, if we could shift gears real quick to some Angels baseball, the bats are out, the mitts are out. I saw some stuff on social media from the Halos about the guys coming back, and of course a huge media crush around whatever they're calling them, Showtime, Shohei Ohtani. How excited are people not only in the Angels organization, but man, I guess around the world, because there's throngs of media coming down to Tempe, Diablo Stadium to check this guy out.
You know, it's crazy. Just the nature of my job, being kind of the team reporter and hosting our post-game show and our off-season shows, it's I get to talk to players, and I talked to Billy Epler for a long time yesterday, and I also get to meet with fans, and it's just the optimism around this club regarding Shohei Ohtani is off the charts, and just being around the office every day. My office is in right field of Angel Stadium, and everywhere you go, there is just a different energy, a different buzz this year. Well, it has kind of been that way since Ohtani said he's coming to the Angels. Well, fast forward to this morning, and now I'm in Anaheim today. Next week I'll be in Tempe. But as I'm watching the feeds and I'm seeing stuff come in, I'm looking at these videos online, and I'm seeing so many reporters. What I've been told is they're expecting about 80 reporters per Angels home game next year, covering the Angels, covering Shohei Ohtani. There's supposed to be like 150 reporters at Ohtani's first press conference tomorrow. They're not even doing it at the stadium. They're doing it at a nearby hotel. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, everything that's gone on. And there have been people like hiding in bushes, looking from across the street, trying to peer over, like climbing mountains to just get an angle, just to get a shot of Shohei Ohtani. I mean, it's been crazy the last couple of days when he's been on minor league fields, and now he's on the big league field. And just to give you a little perspective, so usually when the manager meets with the media for the day pitchers and catchers report, it's, I don't know, somewhere between 4 and 8 reporters, maybe as many as 10. They gather in Mike Scioscia's office, and they talk about, what's coming up, and they handle that. Today, Mike Scioscia was standing on the warning track with the microphone talking to reporters sitting in the stands. That's how many reporters were there. This is nuts. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, including Shohei Ohtani, I can't think of another Major League Baseball team that spent the offseason making more upgrades than the Angels. Is that safe to say, Trent? I'm thinking about Ian Kinsler, Zach Kozar. I mean, they improved. Upton's back. I mean, they improved a lot.
I'm right there with you. There are going to be people that will say the Yankees because of the addition of Giancarlo Stanton. But when I think about what the Angels did collectively and all the moves that they made to fill holes at second base and left field, positions that the Angels haven't felt good about since the days of Howie Kendrick and Garrett Anderson, and then to be able to have an upgrade, I feel like, offensively and defensively over at third base, and Zach Kozar, who was a shortstop, was an all-star shortstop for the Reds last year. Originally, he was going to be signed to play second base. As he's signing his paperwork, or as he is about to board the flight to Southern California to get his physical, Billy Epler calls him up and says, "Hey, we have a chance to get Ian Kinsler. Are you cool shifting over to third base instead of second base?" And he's like, "Man, absolutely. Anything it takes to win." That's the kind of guy that Zach Kozart is. So the Angels bring in Kinsler and they bring in Kozart, and everyone forgets that Justin Upton re-signed this year an extension for 5 years. So that's a really big deal to have a 4-time All-Star in left. I mean, it's crazy. And then, oh, by the way, you have a potential ace of your staff and a guy that has, like, insane pop, too, in Shohei Ohtani, 23-year-old two-way phenom. Across the board, the Angels are significantly better than they were a year ago, and they need to be because Houston finished 21 games ahead of them last year. And I think that Houston is still going to be the class of the AL West. They're still the best team in all of baseball, in my opinion. But I think the Angels have closed the gap, maybe not all the way, but they've certainly made it a lot tighter.
Yeah, I think if you're going to narrow down, like preseason favorites to get to the World Series, of course, the defending champion Astros are there. Maybe you throw the Dodgers in the mix. Chicago Cubs, they're going to bring in Yu Darvish, including Tyler Chatwood, who's a Redlands East Valley high school guy. He's going to join the Cubs rotation as well. But I think on the fringe, Trent, on the fringe, I think the Halos are now part of that conversation. Of course, in the American League West, it's going to be tough to dethrone Houston. I mean, they're still the team to beat. But still, in terms of making the postseason and actually being a threat to get to the World Series, I think the Angels are back.
I agree with you. Now, I'm curious to see if the Red Sox end up bringing in J.D. Martinez, that could change some things. But, look, the way I see it, the Angels are for sure one of the top 3 teams in the American League right now. They could be. They're definitely in the top 5 in that league, which means that they're going to be a playoff team, at least on paper. But a lot of baseball is left to play. Guys, anything can happen in this crazy baseball world that at least I seem to live in these days. But, yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. The Angels are in a really good spot. I think that Angel fans have a right to be excited about the upgrades this season. And we're also in a time in baseball where there's a lot of teams that aren't necessarily going for it. Well, the Angels have bucked that trend. They're going all in. They're trying to win a World Series today, and why not? You get the best player in the world out in center field. Why not put a great team around him? The Angels have spent a lot of money, and they're going all in to try to win this season, and they really have built themselves a nice little window here to make a run at a championship over the next 3-4 years.
Well, Trent, tomorrow Jeff and I will be doing the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE live from Cal State Northridge as we get ready for the Big West Conference game between the Highlanders and Matadors. If we're there that early, will we see you and Richie taping your special Valentine's Day Open for the big broadcast on ESPN3?
Yes, you will see that. We will be there. Matty the Matador will be there. Look, I'm not... all I'm going to say is it's going to be must-see internet TV, and I don't know if it's going to be good or not because my acting skills. Look, I'm not exactly an Academy Award winner, but I am a better actor than Richie, and we'll see how this goes. It's going to be interesting, good or bad. You're going to want to make sure you see it.
All right, Trent, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. He'll be on the call for UCR and CSUN Big West Conference basketball on ESPN3. Trent, we always appreciate the time, brother. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Pep. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, Trent. All right, that's Trent Rush. He'll be on the call tomorrow with Richie Schuler, again, spending time with the boys on Valentine's Day night. I'll be hanging out with Jeff. Yeah, prayers up to Jeff Gorham right now. He's doing fine. He's on his way back from Colorado. We're assuming he's somewhere in between here and Colorado. He was trying to get on the plane and board it. They've been snowed in. It looks like the North Pole, Siberia out there in Steamboat Springs. But he should be en route right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed. All right, one more segment. We're going to wrap this thing up. You're listening to the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE 1350 AM.
Help! I've been deported! I'm in Tijuana!
my garage, carnal. I'm gonna put a little sign under it. It's gonna say, this bumper was pulled off by the bus of Salinas. I mean, anything for Salinas.
We're back to the Inland Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Pep Fernandez and Jeff Gorham.
Was Jeff not here today? It's been a great show. I didn't notice. Was Jeff not even here? No, Jeff's on his way back. From Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Remember, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, the cradle of life, the birthplace of Winter Olympians here in the United States. More Olympians have come from Steamboat Springs, Colorado than any other place. 6 in these Winter Olympics alone. So Jeff was out there bringing the IE, the very best in Winter Olympic sports coverage, and he's on his way back. The plan is, fingers crossed, we will be live doing the show from the campus of Cal State Northridge, as we'll be out there doing the game for UC Riverside taking on CSUN. When you hear the Stones, you know it's time for Highlander basketball. It's a big one, kind of like a playoff game for UCR. We'll have the call tomorrow night. Locally tonight, we got CBU taking on Hawaii Hilo, a big game for the Lancers. 2 more home games for CBU before postseason Pac West play. CBU against Chaminade on Thursday nights. But Jeff is on his way back. Prayers up to the Big G man, Big Jeezy, the mayor. We're brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their great customer service and their low prices. You will love it, I guarantee it. You get a flower and a mint, too. You get the whole thing. That's Spoiled. Ken Sporting Goods, more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, providing you with all of your sporting gear needs. Plus, they customize all the T-shirts and the sweaters and the Letterman's jackets. They got embroidery and screen printing and everything right there at Ken Sporting Goods. Let them hook it all the way up. Boost Performance Training in Corona with Coach Ray Bass. He's the best, guys. Any sport, Coach Ray Bass will coach you all the way up. Ask about their strength and speed class. The first one is always free at Boost. Just mention Jeff Gorham at the door. And finally, Catalano Motors in Corona. Check them out off Temescal Canyon Road, where you can buy, trade, and finance. Even visit the website, CatalanoCars.com. Make that car shopping experience very, very easy. All right, tomorrow on the Inland Sports Show, live from Cal State Northridge, and the G-Man, Big Jeezy, back in the house as well. We'll see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here. It's the one and only Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports IE, 1350 AM.
If you don't say you love the Dodgers, you might not get into heaven.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Inland Empire.